Welcome back to Serie, a Spotlight. We're your hosts Jake
and Matt.
You know what time it is?
Jake and I will have a very special soft spot for Salernitana.
We love now.
This might be bad.
But your group has really some characters in it, no?
Ora naħseb.
Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of Serie A Spotlight. This is episode 221 and we're your host Jake
and Matt,
here to run you through all the action of Matchday 37 in Serie A.
And this was the match day where Inter finally got to lift the trophy, and actually got to lift two because they have since confirmed the double for the first time since 2010, which is also the last time a foreign manager has done the double in Italy. Napoli have confirmed Champions League football after their victory. All they needed was a draw, however. And in the top four race, this is where it gets the spiciest. Milan, Roma and Como all won against Genoa, Lazio and Parma respectively. Whilst Juve lost at home to Fiorentina and in one night went from third all the way down to sixth with just a singular game to go. Milan and Roma are level on points in third and fourth with 70. But Milan are ahead in direct encounter. Como and Juve are also level on points in 5th and 6th with 68 points. Como are ahead in direct encounter. Next week, Milan face Cagliari, Roma face Hellas away from home, Como face Cremonese away from home, and Juve face Torino and the Derby del Mole away from home as well. Atalanta have confirmed Conference League football as Bologna had to beat them by at least 3 goals to even have a chance of taking their place. Atalanta are still 3 points ahead of them, but their positions are confirmed in 7th and 8th. Cagliari are officially safe by beating Torino 2-1, coming from behind actually, and Lecce and Cremonese have both won away from home against Sassuolo and Udinese respectively, which means that they are still separated by just 1 point with 1 match to go. Lecce play Genoa at home, Cremonese play Como at home, who want Champions League football. If they finish level on points, it goes to a relegation play out. This was so fucking crazy because as the games were going on, I had the league table on the other side and they just kept jumping each other for 90 whole minutes, man.
Bro, up until the 93rd or even more, I think, minute of the Lecce game, Lecce were in the relegation zone.
Yes,
and then Stulic scored that goal and they... You see them literally jumping, leapfrogging Cremonese out. And during that time, the Cremonese game had finished. And you see the players just waiting anxiously with their fans. It's a wonderful time of the season. This is the best part, man.
It is the best part, absolutely, man. And we still get more listeners in the first 4 matches of the season than we do now, which is crazy in my opinion. But it's so exciting. As frustrating as it is that all the games happen at the same time, obviously we can't watch 4 games at the same time. I simply love it though. The live reactions, you get news, this team scored, that team conceded, and you just see the table shifting. It's so exciting, man.
Even though I have to admit that for the second half of those games, the Milan game, the Roma game, and the Juve game, I put them all on at the same time. And the pace of the game is so slow at the moment that I feel like I didn't really miss much of what was happening because I only got one action at once. Like the game would be stalled on 2 screens and then happening on another screen. Then when that game stalls, I look to another screen. Like, I'm pretty sure the weather is playing a massive part at the moment, plus end of season mental and physical fatigue.
Yeah, it's very windy as well at the moment, particularly in the Mediterranean and in the south of Italy. But let's get into it because I really want to start fucking talking about these matches. Let's start with our goals of the week, brother.
Yes,
I will start with my own, and I was torn between 2 when it comes to the best strike of this week, and particularly there were 2 long-range screamers, which if you know me, you know I love a long-range screamer. But because of the stage and because of what it did to the table, I thought Mandragora's goal against Juve, the one that sealed the 2-0 victory for Fiorentina, absolutely takes the cake. It's a trademark Mandragora hit. It's Fiorentina against Juve. Fiorentina absolutely despise Juve. And people said, oh, it's against a Fiorentina that have nothing to play for. Fiorentina had absolutely everything to play for because they wanted to sink Juventus in that game. For them, that was a final.
Absolutely. Plus, let's not forget the players are playing for their future right now as well. Everyone wants an upgrade. In reality, when we say that they have nothing to play for, in reality there's always their career to play for.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Yeah. Mandragora's no stranger to a wonder goal, and this one takes the cake. But Obrador's goal was spectacular. But I went with my heart, bro. I went with my heart, and I really enjoyed Pinamonti's goal as well. I thought it was lovely, instinctual backheel flick.
Instinctual.
Yeah, I've been hearing this lately. I've always said instinctive.
All right.
Apparently I'm wrong.
We rockin' with it.
No, you know what, man? Fuck it. Instinctive. But my goal of the week is going to Stulic, man, because that was the goal. It's a goal for salvation. It's a player who's been under fire. The Lecce fans don't like Stulic. He hasn't quite delivered since he's arrived, right? And Kedira has arrived, and he's been much better than he has been. And man, they looked down and out, and Sassuolo had so many chances to put that game to bed, but they just hung in there, Lecce, and at the end he used his body so well to turn and create space for himself, and he shot it right into the bottom corner, and you see everything. The whole stadium erupted the Mappe, man. First of all, Lecce fans took over the Mappe, as many fan bases do, but
no way.
but absolutely incredible scenes, man. And it reminded me, that's what football is all about.
That
no
is
big egos, none of this bullshit. You just have these fucking players playing with their hearts, man.
Yeah,
you know
man.
What I mean?
Yeah,
the likes of Gallo, Ramadani,
and
these
that's
soldiers.
exactly what you get at a club like Lecce, a southern team. Just the Southerners do it best in Italy. They have the biggest hearts, the shortest tempers, but the biggest hearts. It's something us Maltese and the Southern Italians have in common. No, I absolutely love Lecce. That game was amazing, and again, just that Vardy scored on one side for Cremonese as well. You see, it is a very worthy and noble battle between these two teams. And last year, Lecce 34 points is what got them salvation, as Empoli were relegated with 31 points. And currently, Lecce are on 35 points and Cremonese are on 34 points. So they just have to up it a little bit in order to avoid relegation this season.
But now Cremonese have to take on Como, which is going to be a massive game, and I'm not quite sure off the top of my head who Lecce have remaining, but it's nowhere near as difficult.
I do. Lecce are playing against
Genoa
at home. Shit, dude. We don't know who won the prediction series this week because we haven't done the count. We'll figure it out throughout the episode. Okay.
I'm not sure how we're gonna do that.
Stay till the end for our patron segment. Did you take note while we're doing it? We never take note. We just listen back, no?
Yeah, we listen back normally.
Whatever. We'll figure it out, and maybe we'll post on social media. Fuck it. But stay till the end for our patron segment. Patron Corner is back, guys. And we have one of our lovely patrons taking us through Juventus. Obviously, that is Pieter, of course. Juve, we all know the situation they're in from 3rd to 6th. They're still in the chance to get Champions League football, but there are so many teams in between them and so many factors with the direct encounter rule that don't always favour Juve unless they just end up level on points with Milan and nothing else. That is pretty much the only situation in which Juve managed to get Champions League football, and if they finish level on points with Roma, if I am not mistaken. We'll take you through all the possibilities soon. We'll also give you our fantasy league update towards the end of the episode, and take you through our prediction series, which we are very unprepared for this week. Let me just do the classic rundown and we can jump into the episode. So we would not be here if it weren't for Benevo Bid. Check out our link in bio to bid on autographed items from top players, including match-issued kits. And if you check out their socials, in case you're one of the skeptical people, as you should be, you can also find real footage of the players signing the merch. And not only that, but check out their socials because they have some really cool giveaways. They've given away a Leao kit along with so many legendary players of the past. The best part is that most of the proceeds go to charity, so click the link in our bio to make a difference and upgrade your collection. If you guys are new here, make sure to follow us absolutely everywhere we exist, please. TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and also pop a 5-star rating on Spotify. We have a 5-star standard we really love to maintain. We hope we remain true to that 5-star standard, so drop us your feedback in case we don't. this really helps us grow and continue to bring you weekly content. You guys are our backbone. Every single piece of feedback that is written online about us, we've seen, and we've grown, and we've appreciated it as well. So your support means everything to us, and your feedback. If you really, really, really love us, and you're like, you know what, give these guys some money. We are on Patreon. It's $3.99 a month, and it has its perks as well. You get early access to our episodes, you get behind the scenes footage, you'll be added to a group chat with 50 plus like-minded legends, and also join our fantasy league and even win a free kit of your choice if you win the league. So Alan is pretty much confirmed at this point to win a free kit. Congratulations. Alan, let us know what kit you will
Well
like.
done, Alan.
We'll give you your proper flowers when
Yeah,
you
next
officially
week.
win the league, unless, you know, all your 11 players don't start. You'll also get a chance to feature on our Patron Corner segment throughout our episodes, where you can have your say live on our show. Now, we will be taking you through the top 4 kind of battle. We'll save the Napoli game and the Cagliari game for the end of the episode, since we really want to cover the ones that still have a lot to play for. We'll prioritize those. But we actually want to start with a bit of a rundown about the Coppa Italia final, because it was one of the more exciting tournaments that we've had this year. Maybe the final, at least in my opinion, was a bit anticlimactic, because I felt like there was one team playing.
Absolutely. I was so disappointed by this final, bro, to be honest with you. And it's not because Inter won, you know. I mean, Inter are a great
part
team,
of the
and
reason.
they're fun to watch, you know. But the problem for me is that Lazio never showed up, and they beat themselves before Inter actually had the opportunity to beat them. So before we get started, guess who the top scorer of this Coppa Italia tournament was this season?
Okay, so I'm guessing
There's one guy who scored 4 goals. He's the only one who scored 4 goals.
one guy in this Coppa Italia that scored 4 goals. Is it? No, is it an Atalanta guy?
It is an Atalanta guy.
Oh my god, I'm fucking on fire, dude. I was gonna say Raspadori, but it's not. I think I remember him scoring an offside goal only. I'm gonna go... No, it's not Pasalic, surely.
It is Pasalic.
It's Pasalic, insane.
Yes, that counts. You guessed. You
Insane.
guessed
I
Pasalic.
guessed.
Yes.
Just-
And then there's
our producer just needs to edit it a bit. Shout out Tyson.
Duvikas and Pellegrino have 3 goals each, and then of course there's a bunch of guys with 2 goals. But shout out to Pasalic, who always remains, who's always making new records.
Yeah, man.
Setting new records. Always.
And what a year for him to do it with his father's passing. Shout out Pasalic, bro.
Absolutely, uncalled for that. You just randomly brought that up, but anyway. So Inter, of course, have completed the domestic double against all odds, with Kivu at the helm. All those who had written him off at the beginning of the season, including ourselves, have swallowed our own words, because he has been absolutely sensational the way he has led this team. So this was a relatively easy 2-0 victory. So for Lazio, the starting 11 was Motta in goal, na 4-3-3, with Tavares, Romagnoli, Gila and Marusic at the back, Taylor, Patrick and Basic in midfield, with Zaccagni, Isaacson and Noslin playing up front. Of course, Noslin as the number 9. Now, yes, if you had to tell Lazio fans who were around for the Immobile, Luis Alberto and Milinkovic-Savic days, that they will be in a final, in a Coppa Italia final in 2026, and their centre-back Patrick was going to be the regista, and Toma Basic, who had been on loan at Salernitana and completely exiled from the squad, that they were going to be 2 starting players in this final. I don't think they would have believed you, but yeah. And then you have Inter on the other hand, of course, in their 3-5-2 formation, with Josep Martinez in goal, Bissek, Akanji and Bastoni at the back, with Dumfries on the right, Di Marco on the left, Barella, Zielinski and Sucic in the middle, with Thuram and Lautaro Martinez up front. So the game, as I said, was effectively decided by 2 Lazio errors, individual errors in the first half. The first one coming 14 minutes in, and this was from a Di Marco corner that Marusic headed into his own net while he was under pressure from Marcus Thuram. Now, this was just a case of poor body positioning by Marusic, and it's a player who has had high highs and low lows. He's been a reliable backup most of the time for the majority of his career, but he still has these mistakes in him that typically with experience you iron out. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like this was a mistake when it comes to his positioning, for example. That shouldn't be a mistake you're making as a veteran. And it seems like they don't really have the desire to part ways with him. So
Yeah. Well,
there's that.
it's probably because they don't have any desire to bring in any players. Because I thought maybe Marusic and the likes of Marusic and Lazzari. I think since we've started the pod, we've been saying that perhaps they should have a new left back and a new right back. Genuinely.
And it was a breath of fresh air when Nuno arrived, but of course he has his problems too. As in the 35th minute, Nuno Tavares was dispossessed by Denzel Dumfries. He literally held the ball for too long and just scanned for too long. It's one of those where it looks like your controller disconnects and suddenly you can't control the player, and he's been dispossessed by Dumfries, exactly, who squared it to Lautaro Martinez to tap it in. Lazio improved after half-time, especially after Rovella came on, but Inter remained defensively solid and they never really looked in serious danger. Martinez made key saves on Boulaye, who, more than forcing him into a key save, had a massive miss. You know what I mean? Boulaye has been, the last 2 games, has been abysmal, and they have so much work to do with their squad.
Man.
While Inter, of course, created chances to make it 3-0. This was Inter's 10th Coppa Italia title and their first domestic double since 2010 under Jose Mourinho, brother. Thoughts on this game quickly, bro?
I mean, no, you pretty much hit the nail on the head in the sense that I thought the manner in which Lazio won that semi-final and the fact that they had their fans in the stadium for the first time since the Milan game, that, you know, there would be some more fight from them, and I was really expecting more from Lazio. I think Inter did what they had to do, you know, with the early set piece and capitalizing on errors. Inter have always been one of the more accurate teams this season. If you let up a chance against Inter, the likelihood is they are going to put that chance away. They have so many people that are capable of scoring goals, and even the first couple of minutes you're scoring an own goal against them, then that's it. The second we saw that goal. Now I know that, you know, with Kiev ball, they tend to play a higher line, and so they're a bit more open for counter-attacks, etc. And there weren't really any points in the game that I thought Lazio were exploiting that. No, it was a real disappointing performance for me by Lazio.
Absolutely, brother. And they are out officially. They miss out on European football. For the first time in a while, they've been around. They've been doing well. This decline is quite bad, man, for Lazio. And of course, the protests continue. We saw the fans show up for the derby against Roma, but that was also uninspiring, and we'll get to that very soon. But let's focus a little bit on Inter right now, because there are quite a few talking points and things to mention. I just want to talk about Lautaro Martinez, man, and his leadership and how he tends to deliver in these finals, man. In big moments, he tends to deliver. Not necessarily in the league against the big clubs, because he has had a little bit of a drought at one period, at least. Let's just say that, to be fair to him. But in the Coppa Italia, man, he is a monster, and he's a big game player, Lautaro Martinez.
No, he's ridiculous, and I think I saw a statistic online that he scored in the past. I think he scored 6 goals in finals, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the statistic that I heard the commentator say. But regardless, I think that's just a confirmation of, if there's a final, like I remember it was a Supercoppa Italiana final where Milan had lost 3-0 to Inter, and it was just all Lautaro Martinez. He has such a presence, and he has so many great leadership qualities, but this has to be one of the biggest things about him, that there are so many occasions where players around you are going to be nervous, but the experience that he shows in these cases is second to none. A true leader does not shy away from the big stage, and that's exactly what Lautaro Martinez does, man.
Yeah, and what a difference, of course, Dumfries makes, man. Having Dumfries and DeMarco out wide make Inter so challenging to play against, because no matter which side they go down, no matter which side you go down, you're gonna have problems.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's great for Inter. I think they, like, I had quite the weekend this weekend, but I think Inter this week they would have spent a week drunk, because they got to lift the Coppa Italia trophy. I'm sure they had a couple of bevies over there. I am certain they had a couple of bevies after they lifted the Serie title,
Of course,
because
there's a video, no? The Thijs, can you pull up the video of Barella and Doug Cherby on the team bus, please? We have to see it. We have
yes,
to pull it up.
trigger warning for anyone that's offended by slurs.
Yes, and anyone who understands Italian. Yeah. While he pulls that up, of course, we can describe the setting maybe.
Yeah, I mean, on the bus,
Yeah.
they were at the top of the bus, and obviously, you know what it tends to get like with the Milan teams on top of a bus. They tend to, get a bit rowdy.
Yeah.
But I thought Barella just really took it to the next level.
Ma tu sei ritardato! Aspetta! Ma tu sei un coglione!
Il gatto?
Vai, fatti la selfie, coglione! Selfie, coglione! olè!
Just two guys having fun after a hard year of work.
Yes. I mean,
That's it. That's all it is, man.
Barella looks absolutely hilarious, bro.
Hilarious. He
Those
looks so
noises
funny.
that he's making. So funny, man. So funny. And clearly not media trained enough, man. He took a risk there.
Yeah.
Has so many sponsors around Inter.
Yeah, they must have been hammered though.
Yeah.
For that there. Yes, exactly. So congratulations to Inter. No need to dwell on this for much
Yeah.
longer. We can move on to the Serie A, which has been so competitive and exciting. bro.
And we'll start off obviously by discussing the teams that are battling it out for top four. Specifically, I think, there was the Derby della Capitale between Roma and Lazio, so it is very appropriate that we start from there. Of course, Roma went into this game level on points with Milan in fourth place, only behind through direct encounter. They continued their exceptional form by beating their bitter rivals Lazio in the Derby della Capitale. Now, just one more match to seal Champions League football for the first time since 2018. If they win their next match, it will be the first time they won 5 in a row this season, and what a time to do it. There's, the second they get rid of Ranieri. They missed Kone and Zaragoza. There's actually an interesting point to make about that, but I'll keep it for later.
Okay, I'll remind you.
Lazio had just played the Coppa Italia final, dreaming of lifting a trophy in front of their fans for the first time since 2019. They dreamt of doing it despite the ownership, the transfer ban, the fan protest, and the lack of investment. But they lost that match 2-0 in a terrible performance, and just 4 days later played the derby with 0 fans in attendance and lost that 2-0 as well, which was a very humbling experience for Lazio after the season that they've had. This is the second Derby della Capitale they've lost this season, as Roma won the away fixture as well with the score of 1-0. Gasperini's side played a 3-4-2-1 with Svilar in goal, a backline of Hermoso, Ndika and Mancini. Wesley was on the left, Celik on the right, midfield two of El Ainaoui and the ever-reliable Brian Cristante, with Pisilli and Dybala playing relatively centrally behind Malin. 4-3-3 for Sarri's men, with a surprise starting goal for Lanetto, as Motta has been relegated to the bench after a few shaky performances despite his crazy penalty saves in the Coppa semi-final. For Lanetto, 24-year-old Lazio youth product, was recently out on loan in Serie 3 for 2 seasons. The four at the back were Maricic, Hila, Profsgaard and Tavares. The midfield three were Basic, Rovella and Taylor, and the front three were Cancelleri, Dia and Noslin. Now Roma won 2-0 with both goals coming from Captain Fantastic, Mr. Gianluca Mancini, and we spoke about players who are big game players. Gianluca Mancini is up there with one of the best big game players we have in the modern era of Serie A. He scored 2 headers from corners, 1 in each half, 1 assisted by Pisilli and the other assisted by Dybala. Lazio's key resistance came through debutant Alessio Furlanetto. The 24-year-old made 6 saves in his debut for Lazio, notably tipping away an early Tavares own goal situation, which was a miraculous save, to be honest, and later denying a gorgeous Dybala free kick goal. The game boiled over in the second half after Roma's second goal, with Rovella and Wesley both sent off following a melee. From there, Lazio never recovered and Roma managed the closing stages relatively comfortably. It's also good to mention that Indica went off injured in around the 30-something minute in the game, which made Mancini move position to be the centre of a three at the back. And something tells me he wouldn't have been in those goal-scoring situations if maybe he was attacking the far post, for example, and those would have been Indica's headers to win.
It could be, it could be, but on set pieces, people tend to have their fixed roles regardless of the position they would take in the defensive phase. But bro, man, I can't believe first of all, I can't believe the same mistake made by Lazio twice. The exact same mistake, leaving Mancini totally unmarked and him just running between two Lazio players, uncontested, one of them being Gila every time, which surprised me, to be honest. I don't like to see that whatsoever. When he's locked in, that guy is unplayable, but he looked really soft here. And of course, it's come right after essentially a season-ending defeat in the Coppa Italia, which would have been super demoralizing, but you need to understand that your fans are coming back to the stadium. You are playing a very important game for the city and for your fan base. You can still give them something to cheer about. And apart from the fact that these defensive lapses happened, Lazio have a serious problem when it comes to scoring goals at the moment. Of course, no one from midfield is pitching in with any goals. That's a massive factor right now. And if you break down the offensive line, you have Zaccagni, who's playing with fear. Lately, we have this...
He's carried a knock. In fact, he went off injured in this game as well. He hasn't been 100% for a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while. And he plays like it. And he's afraid to take players on. He's afraid to take risks. It seems like he slows down the pace of the game and plays a safe ball every time. Or he plays for the foul more often than not. That's what he tends to do. So you have that. You have Noslin, who didn't really have the fate of the manager of Sarri when he came in. And he's played sometimes as a 9, sometimes on the wing. So he hasn't really had time to settle. And he's not a natural goal scorer to kind of begin with.
Yeah.
Then you have Cancelleri, who's better if you're defending and if you're hitting on the break than if you're running into a wall. Because if you're running into a low block, Cancelleri is not the man that you want on the ball.
No.
Daniel Maldini, we know how wasteful he is, and we know that he operates better outside of the box than inside it. And then Pedro, of course, at this point, Pedro is so old, man. We saw his cameo. He's still probably one of the most dangerous players on Lazio and one of the most technically gifted by a landslide. I felt bad for him in that cameo in the final. Every time he touched the ball, he was booed because, of course, he cost Inter the league.
Yeah, and Luis Henrique, honestly, that's a red card in my opinion. I don't give a fuck. Say what you want. He knows he's there. He knows he's falling. He knows exactly what he's doing. Luis Henrique,
but it's also very clever because he can just claim to have cleared the ball.
Oh yeah, but
it was malicious,
clever, sure, malicious and fucking dangerous, bro.
Yes,
Once Alex Ferguson and he was right to say it, because I think Van Persie had taken a ball. He could have died. He could have died. He could have gotten killed. That wasn't that good.
It wasn't bad.
I think it was Van Persie. If not Van Nistelrooy, I think it was Van Persie. One of the Vans. Van McCann by Catfish and the Bottlemen. Hit me up if you like Catfish and the Bottlemen. This fucking party, man. But that was fucking malicious. Not to say that I don't think Lazio were as bad as they were against Inter. I think Lazio showed up in this game. They just made the same 2 mistakes that led to the goal. But the first half was fairly even in terms of chances. Tactically, I thought the first half was quite messy for Roma, despite the goal. Lazio had this compact mid-block going on, and they blocked central progression really well. Like I said, Roma started quite narrow and trying to use Dybala and Pisilli in the channels more to connect play to the striker, to Malin obviously, and they looked more dangerous, and then Lazio looked more dangerous through Dia, Noslin and Tavares attacking down in the cast side through the channels. Roma struggled to play through the middle and they relied heavy on wide circulation and second balls. Lazio's best chances came from transitions and set pieces, while Roma were more territorial but not clearly in control. Then in the second half, there were adjustments made by Gasperini. Wesley pushed higher, Wrench moved inside, and Dybala became the main connector in the right half space. Roma started to dominate territory and second balls, while Lazio's midfield, Rovella, Taylor and Basic, lost total control of progression. And I thought that is absolutely where Roma managed to insert some kind of dominance. Again, they won the game through 2 set pieces that I thought Lazio should have learned after the first one. Like, okay, clearly, Mancini's entering this way. We just conceded like that. We need to go man for man with Mancini.
Yeah.
But it's the same mistake twice in a row.
It's zonal marking, right? At the end of the day, this whole obsession with zonal marking, and to be honest, we've seen it at the absolute highest level of football, and we're seeing it more and more. But I think sometimes, man, the old school way is just so much better, right? You have a player who's dangerous in the air who tends to score headers. Just mark him.
Yeah.
Mark him.
I mean, I'm sure the attacking kind of moves from set pieces, I'm sure I'm quite elaborate, and every team has their own set of kind of techniques that they use and moves that they use, so it's not always easy. But if you concede one, it's almost great because you get to see, okay, that's how they get their success. We know how to defend against it now. But there's absolutely none of that. Fucking huge shout out to Gianluca Mancini, man. In a derby, he's always there. In the semi-finals, was it the semi-final or the quarter-final of the Europa League against Milan? Where Cesco fucking choked me when we're doing the watch-along. It was Mancini that scored, and under De Rossi it was.
And I believe he had a goal against Lazio as well, where he held up a banner with a rat on the Lazio. I'm not sure if he had scored that game, but yeah, he is a big game player, man. And he's, like, for example, for me, you take that guy on the national team. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Many people just don't like him because they don't like what he's about. But I think it's important to have an intimidating player like that in your squad.
100%. You bring him on in the 70th minute when you're winning, and the other team are bringing on forwards and whatever. It's like, okay, you're going up against Gianluca Mancini now.
That game against Bosnia, he needed grit, man.
Totally,
absolutely,
and maybe someone that can head the ball.
There's been a bit of an update on Sarri following all this. I don't know if this should come after what you're about to say.
Please go for it.
So Sarri is, and I quote, far from happy. He wasn't, and I quote, I wasn't listened to at all by the players. Okay. He wasn't listened to at all, and he also said about the management, if our plans don't align, there's no point in moving forward. So it seems that Sarri's casting a little bit of doubt on his future, something that he hasn't done often before. I mean, he's stood by Lazio's side and has been a bit of a beacon in these trying times for Lazio fans. But now there are rumors to Napoli, as apparently Conte and De Laurentiis are coming to an amicable mutual conclusion.
Most surprising thing of 2026.
Conte's fallen out with so many precedents over the past few years, and can you believe the one he didn't fall out with? Well, he hasn't fallen out with yet. Is De Laurentiis?
I think he's the only person in the world that De Laurentiis respects. Genuinely.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we'll have to see. There's going to be a bit of a coaching carousel.
Yes,
100%.
and in Maltese, I'm going to tell you this in Maltese, bro. Il-Lazio ħajżarmaw. Ħajżarmaw naħseb.
That means that they're going to
not collapse, but like it's like dismantle. I think with the current situation, with the fans, with the ownership, with Sarri now probably on his way out, what's left for, Zaccagni? What's left for Rovella? What's left for Hila? They just finished 9th, and there's no clear direction that this club is going to go in. I'm really interested to see what kind of sales they make and what kind of players they bring in and what kind of objectives they're going to set for next season. Because at this stage, what was the objective this year? To save money, to have a complete write-off of a season, to embarrass the club over and over and over again, because that's all that happened. All Lazio have done. I'm going to take it back, because at least Lazio, those 11 men, managed to get to a Coppa Italia final with Sarri by their side, and at least they had some moments, and they gave the fans as much as they could, the 11 men, man. They made their mistakes in the Coppa Italia final, but take nothing away from the players. The situation that they were in this season was not easy. Let's swap to Roma,
please,
because Roma are absolutely in the driving seat for Champions League football. It is totally in their hands. Roma can do it. Roma can re-enter the Champions League. And all they need to do in order to do that is beat an already relegated Hellas Verona away from home.
Hellas Verona have been on a bit of a bender nowadays, having fun against the top
In
teams.
fact, I was going to say,
They-
the last
they've-
match is away to Hellas Verona, and they've just held Inter and Juve this month, despite already being relegated.
Exactly, and they gave Lecce a hard time as well.
Yeah,
drawing
Milan a
0-0.
hard
They-
time as well.
And Como, they only lost 1-0 as well. So when the pressure is off and the Hellas Verona players here that officially they're going to be playing in Serie B next year, apparently they start to show up.
And Roma need to be careful, because if people say Roma only need to draw this game, they don't. Roma need to win this game, absolutely, because Roma have a shit head-to-head against everyone.
Yeah.
Against all the top teams, have a shit head-to-head.
In fact, we should probably address this, bro. In the event that Como, Milan, Juve and Roma all end up tied on points,
Which can absolutely happen if Milan and Roma both draw their games and Como and Juve both win their games. Everyone ends up on 71 points.
yeah. In that case, in Serie A, what happens is a mini table of head-to-head fixtures commences, and Matt and I had a moment of calculations before this episode, as you can see on this paper over here. I'm not sure if you can see anything, but we
They won't understand
pulled
it
out
anyway.
the calculator. Como would actually lead that head-to-head table with 10 points, followed by Milan with 9, Juve with 5, and Roma with 4. So Roma want to avoid this at all costs because, as Matthew mentioned, their head-to-head is not great.
No, it's shit, actually.
Quite frankly.
And for... I was going to break down Milan and Juve as well, but we're going to be covering those teams as well, so we'll just save it for that. So Roma absolutely need to win that game, especially if Como and Juve are going to win their games, because otherwise they are in real trouble. I think we can move on. Of course, I already told you where they stand, but I'm just going to do it one more time. Roma find themselves in 4th on 70 points, level with Milan in 3rd, whilst Lazio are in 9th on 51 points, and they actually risk even dropping down to 10th and potentially even 11th if they lose and Udinese and Sassuolo win.
Brilliant. So we have
Thanks, bro.
the Milan game now that we need to talk about, brother. A very emotional game, a very stressful game, and a game that I was not very confident about from the get-go, judging by Milan's form right now. I couldn't imagine them winning.
The first match I watched on my new 85-inch TV.
Oh, yes.
Hell
bro.
yes.
And
Which
how
almost
does-
cost me my relationship.
Matthew sneakily installed an 85-inch
I
TV
don't
in his
install-
living room
I-
while his girlfriend was abroad. and
I
she came back and she
drilled
hates
it into her wall, bro. I drilled it into her wall. So if you don't like it, we'll just get rid of it. We'll remove it, and there's fucking 8 gaping holes, bro. Glory holes, like. It's gonna be a hassle, huh? At least let me keep it for the World Cup, man. Jeez.
Yeah, bro. Fuck it. You should have just put it in the bedroom.
You know what? That's rock and roll, though, bro.
That's rock
That's
and
the
roll.
most
That's-
rock and
that's
roll
it.
thing
That's
I've
it.
done in a while.
Yeah. And I heard what you told her after.
What did I tell her?
Bertha to ask for forgiveness, then permission.
Hell yeah. She finds me sexy for it. Just won't admit it yet. Breaking rules is sexy.
You might be right there. So anyway, Milan took a huge step towards Champions League qualification with a hard-fought 2-1 away victory at a packed Genoa stadium against De Rossi, son of Rome, who wanted to do his Roma a favour. So the starting 11 for Milan, of course, there were quite a few suspended players that included the likes of Salamakers, Leao, I'm not sure someone else. There was someone else. He escapes me right now. But anyway, we have...
Missing the game.
Yeah, it'll come to us.
Leao, Salamakers, Estupiñán.
Estupinian, that's why I forgot. So it was Manyan in goal for Milan with Pavlovic, Gabi and Tomori at the back, Atekame on the right, Bartezaghi on the left, Rabiot, Yashari and Fofana in the middle with Nkunku and Jimenez up front. So the first half was very sluggish. Very sluggish. It's been a trudge. Most first halves under Allegri have been a matter of feeling the opponent out and seeing how to adapt to them in the second half. This was no different. And to be honest, I respect the caution considering how the previous 2 games have gone.
Sure.
Fuck it, why not?
Sure.
So the breakthrough came early in the second period when Nkunku intercepted a very poor back pass by Amorim, who made a an awful
Blunder,
mistake there. A
blunder.
Massive blunder. He forced Bilo off his line and he had to give away the penalty and take a yellow card for that. Nkunku won the penalty himself and then converted it himself, sending the keeper the wrong way. Massive, absolutely massive goal.
Fuck yes, Chris.
Milan then doubled their lead in the 81st minute through Atekame, who drilled home a low finish from the edge of the box after a nice layoff from Christian Pulisic, who worked hard to make that happen. And then, just to keep the blood pressure high, Vasquez pulled one back for Genoa, his first of the season, of course. And I'm not quite sure what happened.
No, the ball ricocheted off Gabbia, and I think it was a bit of a ping pong
of
kind
the
of
winter,
moment of the winter Gabbia, and then it went underneath Mike. Guess where? Near post.
Yes. But I mean, this was just a super clumsy goal, one of those weird ones. But thankfully, Milan had a 2-0 lead, and they managed to hold on.
Yeah, for 8 minutes at a time, man. It was nerve-wracking.
It was because, of course, there was the whole situation with the flares on the pitch because they started throwing coins and flares, apparently, the Genoa fans. But anyway, yes. So now Milan, all they have to do is beat Cagliari on the last day. But bro, when it comes to this game, first of all, I want to ask you about not having Leao and not having Salamakers. So I mentioned that it might be a good thing in the last episode that the team can play without the pressure of those two egos at the moment, because they do pile pressure on you, those two players, man. They do that because their body language is very off-putting at times. Do you think that Milan played more as a team this game?
100%. I was watching Gabbia. Capitano Gabbia, by the way.
Gabbia is the
Gabbia is the captain. I don't care.
He does all the interviews. He does the pre-match talks. He does the huddles. Everything.
He does the huddles. Gabbia is the true captain of Milan.
But Magnan, bro, when they're in the tunnel, goes, "Go on, Rossoneri! Let's go, Milan!"
Portiere attaccante. But whatever. I was watching Gabbia speak, and everyone in the huddle, and everyone attentive. And I look over, and I see Santi Jimenez has got a chip on his shoulder. I see Nkunku has a chip on his shoulder. I see Atekame seeing an opportunity. I see Yashari nervous as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
But it was a group of players with a point to prove. And when you want, a good, honest performance, those are the kind of guys you want. And you're completely right to talk about Leao and Salamakers, because Leao, there's no need to add anything. He's Leao. Leao, over the past 2 seasons, has displayed, when it comes to his work rate on the pitch and his finishing and everything, pretty much has been awful.
Especially in the second half of the season. Because we criticize him a lot, but let's of course mention that in the first half of the season he won Milan quite a few games despite playing badly.
And if another teammate is struggling, Leao is the first one to lift them up. He's exactly like when Fofana missed a sitter and Leao scored in the second half, and he ran up to the bench because Fofana was bench at halftime to celebrate with Fofana. He has these moments, but Leao has, in the second half of the season, he's been gone, mentally gone, doesn't give a fuck, and I will maintain that stance. I don't care. Salamakers, on the other hand, he starts the game pissed off.
Yeah.
And pissed off.
There's no serenity.
It's like when someone in a 5-a-side, someone goes a bit hard on him and he just spends the entire game just trying to fight everyone, shooting from everyone, trying rainbow flicks and this and that. Like, hey, man, relax, it's Allegri ball, bro. So Atekame comes in, scores from outside the box. Nkunku wins a penalty and converts it. It's the second penalty he's won and converted in 2 games, These are the guys that Milan needed in this game. Yashari is an exception because he had an awful game.
Yes, and in fact I wanted to talk about them next. Yashari and Jimenez, bro. Yashari, we can excuse him, it's his first season, but let's not forget the price tag. But let's excuse him because it's his first season. He's young. Next year, hopefully, he'll be better and he can have a more serene season.
Yeah, and this was his first stinker. Yeah. This was his first stinker because he played a true pass at a point. Manyan saved me. I played a true pass to Vitinha.
Yeah. And Jimenez is not one to contribute to build up play. He falls over very easily.
That's it, because we weren't expecting him to be a build-up play kind of striker. We knew this was the kind of guy who stays on the line of defense, which against a low block isn't always great. But he's so weak. He's so timid. He's so passive. Of course, he hasn't had the easiest time in Milan. Let's be honest.
No.
He joined in January, picked up an immediate injury that kept him out. Then he was actually scoring a few goals. Then he was out injured again. And then Milan changed managers for like the third time in however many months, brought in Allegri. He started the first few games, and I think after 8 games of starting, he hadn't scored a single goal, and he was missing absolute sitters, contributed 1 assist. He was doing great work off the ball, however. Then he goes abroad with Mexico. Every time he goes abroad with Mexico, he breaks something, this guy, man. He comes back and he's out for the entirety of the season.
Yeah.
Comes back and he looks like a girl playing with men.
Yeah.
Not in that way, as in like physically.
Physically is how you try to save it.
You all know what I'm saying, man. Fuck it.
Atacama has
Perverts.
scored twice. Jimenez hasn't scored this season.
Yep.
That just says everything, because Atacama's minutes have been very limited, and he is the wing back, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Speaking of Atacama, I was very happy with his performance. However, he did lose Vitinha at one point at the near post, and it nearly cost Milan an equalizer, and that pissed me off. That was really naive.
Sure. All I'm going to tell you is Swiss League young boys and 21 years old.
Exactly. Yes, no. He is
Maybe.
very promising. I've enjoyed what I've seen so far. Tomori, once again, I'm not really feeling it, man. I think he needs to be one of the sales. He needs to be one of the changes that happens at the back. I've been seeing now that Leao and Pavlovic apparently are how Milan are going to make the money that they need to make. First of all, why do Milan need to make money if they do qualify for top 4? Is this an annual thing that you need to make 100 million off of player sales? And second of all, man, stop trying to sell Pavlovic, man.
Man,
What are you doing to me?
Honestly, because this is how apparently this management works. It doesn't matter how well you're playing. So Milan finished 8th last season. Who's performing well? One guy. One guy.
Pavlovic.
Reinders.
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 Yes.
The team is all around Reinders. World class. Well, I think he was the highest scoring midfielder in the league. Young. What happens? Instead of here's a new contract, here's a raise, you off to City.
Yeah, for a bargain deal.
For a bargain deal,
yeah.
and he's doing so poorly over there that Milan are going to get none of the bonuses that
yeah.
would have taken it up to 70 million. So we're going to need to celebrate the 45 million or whatever they've made from him. Now this season, Pavlovic, one of the only players displaying
Heart.
maybe not the cleanest performances. He's playing well, taking the ball up forward well. He's a bit clunky at times and loses his man a few times. He rushes a bit when he shouldn't. But he's the one displaying heart. And clearly there's a lot of potential over there.
Mhm.
And they're trying to sell him. Why?
Because he has suitors. Because
I don't give a fuck,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah, I know. I love having him on the team, to be honest with you. And when everyone seems demoralized, that's when he starts charging up from the back like a marauding horse
Yes,
in
bro,
knight's
like
armor.
Nosferatu. That's
I
what he
love it.
reminds me of. Nosferatu.
In
Yes.
SpongeBob or in the film?
in the film.
I think Milan did what they had to do here. This was a pressure cooker of an atmosphere. Milan were so down on form. They were missing important players. I thought that the approach was very intelligent. Absorb and be efficient. And that is what Milan were. I know that at the end of the day, the opener came through a penalty. And then it took a long-range strike from Atacama, who was randomly positioned just outside the area. But you know what, man? I think that Milan defended well. And they limited Genoa to, honestly, very few clear chances. And both chances that were created came from 2 individual mistakes that I can remember. I remember the Atacama one where he lost Vitinha.
Mhm.
And then when Yashari passed back again to Vitinha.
Madonna. That was
Yeah.
a terrible
Two
one.
individual mistakes that could have cost Milan the game.
Well,
but-
and the goal, you know.
and the goal, yeah.
But that's Milan's game in a nutshell. Now they go up against Cagliari.
Mhm.
And you know, Milan against the small teams.
I have a question for you about that one.
Ah,
So, Leao is available.
no.
He's not?
No,
He's not?
wait, he is available. He is available. But I know what you're going to ask me.
But, listen to this. So, the media is, of course, saying that Allegri wants Leao out.
Mhm.
We don't know if that's true, because that's just the media,
Mhm.
right? Of
Mhm.
course.
Mhm.
Question number 1, if Leao starts, is that a vote of confidence from Allegri? That's question number 1. And question
Mhm.
number 2 is Leao has 7 goals against Cagliari in his career. in I think 11 games. Should he be starting this one simply because of that record?
First one, no, I don't think it's a vote of confidence in the sense that it means he's going to stay on. I think you just have to confirm that, look at the players around him and see that the players around him are Santi Jimenez, Fulkrug, you know, Pulisic, who hasn't been fully fit in ages and he's been misfiring. So
But you could easily go, for example,
the coach needs to play who he has available.
But Nkunku played well this game and Pulisic got an assist. You know what I mean? You could easily start with them up top. Pulisic is fit.
Sure, but maybe he wants to hit on the break and have Leao over there. My point is you need to play with the players that you have available. And I bet you if with that reasoning, then, you know, Tomori's getting a vote of confidence, Fofana's getting a vote of confidence, you know, Gabbia's getting a vote of confidence. I'm quite sure in an ideal world, Allegri, if getting the opportunity for an upgrade across the board, he would go for that. Secondly, he has 7 goals, you said, against Cagliari. Fuck. Because then, like...
I think he starts, man. And to be honest...
would you rather start Leao and take him out if he's not performing, or bring Leao on as an impact sub?
No, I would start him. I wouldn't want that uncertainty.
What, so you see him walking off like this when you sub him?
Yeah, exactly. And then I can see Milan create opportunities when he gets off. No, it's first of all, he's had a week to. He missed a match day, which might have resulted in some mental clarity, maybe from Leao. I don't know. I think at this point you have him. You know, start him. Try to keep him happy. Try to keep things amicable. And at the end of the day, the alternatives aren't much better. I mean, Nkunku played really well, but this was his first good game as a starter.
As a starter, yes.
Yeah,
as a starter,
absolutely.
Yes.
He's come on and changed the game.
It's
before.
his first season. He recently had quite a huge injury. He recently flopped at Chelsea. Absolutely keep Nkunku for next season, in my opinion.
I mean,
at least get a second year out of him.
You have
when
to.
Every single striker, Fulkrug out, Santi out, Leao out. Fuck it, send out Pulisic and Nkunku too. Like, at least keep, you know, some players that are improving while the whole team is getting worse, apparently.
The interesting thing about Milan is that the squad consists of only 19 players. So there's a lot of leeway and room to...
And we haven't heard a rumor about who they're bringing in, only about who they're removing.
Exactly. And it's hard to kind of make predictions about Milan at the moment because everything is up in the air. You know, you're not sure if Furlani's staying, you're not sure if Zlatan's staying or getting a promotion.
I am
sure
going to save my opinions for next episode, where we do the last match of the season, and we can give our takes on the teams. That's why I'm going to give you my take on Allegri. That's why I'm going to give you my take on everyone, pretty much. Taref, Orlani. That's it. In the event, bro, so Milan are in third on 70 points. Milan have better direct encounter against Roma, which is why they're ahead them right now. Milan have a better direct encounter to Como because they won 3-1 and drew. Milan and then have an even direct encounter with Juve. So if only Milan and Juve finish head-to-head where not a mini-league table is created, then they look at goal difference. Juve have a better goal difference than Milan.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah. So that's the only case where direct encounter doesn't favor Milan.
Yeah. So a win is crucial against Cagliari for Milan, absolutely. Milan, of course, Matthew, as he said, find themselves in third with 70 points, while Genoa, if you're wondering, are actually in 14th with 41 points.
Next up, Juve 0, Fiorentina 2, and I am wearing this in solidarity with Juve. It's not a Juve kit. I know it looks like that classic Juve kit. Thank you for thinking I look like Yildiz when I wear this, guys. But
who said that? Who lied to you?
The listeners, bro. You're not hearing them. I know you think that, but it's not the case. Shit. Really rocky shit for Juve. It was their first loss since the 21st of February. So this is a really interesting thing. If you go on Juve YouTube and you hear Juve fans have their takes, etc., Juve podcasts, it almost feels like Juve have been shit for ages, but they were on a 10-match unbeaten run, man, with 6 wins, 4 draws, really turning it around under Spalletti. Like I said, their first loss was on the 21st of February. Not doing it in the sexiest way, but they still have the same problems they had at the start of the season. But they had a new lease of life, they had a new manager, and at least they had someone that knew how to get them points. The second he slips up, they go from 3rd all the way down to 6th with 1 match to go. A really, really harsh reality. Juve really got slapped in the face in this game and spat on and fucked. Like, Thuram wasn't available for this game. He still carried a slight knock, so he only started the game from the bench, but otherwise Juve were relatively fully fit. Like I said earlier, people say Fiorentina had nothing to play for, but if you ask any Viola fan, they will disagree. This was a final for them to stop Juve from getting Champions League football. Fiorentina hadn't won in 4 matches. Keane was still not fit enough even to sit on the bench. The previous encounter between these two sides was a 1-1 draw. Spalletti's side played a 4-2-3-1 formation with Di Shitio in goal, with a backline of Cambiaso, Kelly, Bremer and Kalulu, double pivot of Cope Miners and Locatelli, with Yildiz on the left, Conceição on the right and McKennie playing behind Dusan Vlahovic. 4-3-3 for Fiorentina, David De Gea in goal, backline of Dodò, Pongracic, Ranieri and Gosens. Ndur, Fagioli and Bescianini formed the midfield 3, and the front 3 were Parisi, Piccoli and Solomon. So Vlahovic missed a huge one-on-one after a terrible back pass error by Ndur in the opening moments of the match. It was a very good save by David De Gea, who for me was likely the man of the match in this game.
Rolling back the years. And you know, I love how the Juve fans I've spoken with, they're like, oh, it's like De Gea, I thought he was playing with Spain again. Bro, he had a really bad start to the season. He has been unbelievable for a while now.
Yes, totally. Yeah. Totally. He's been great for Fiorentina. Yeah. He's been great.
Absolutely.
However, it was Ndur, the guy that made the mistake earlier, who found the net after a transition move for Fiorentina. Di Gregorio got beaten at his near post again, with his first shot faced in a match again. Took a slight deflection, but just slow to get down. He's so robotic and stiff and clunky. No, he is not the answer for Juve, and he really set them back in this game, conceding immediately with another just soft goal, man. Another soft goal to concede by Di Gregorio. This has not been his season. But anyway, in the second half, Juve pushed hard after Boga came on. McKennie had a goal disallowed for a foul. Vlahovic had one ruled out for offside, and De Gea made great saves on Boga and Conceição, decisive saves. Fiorentina sat deep, absorbed pressure, and they stayed compact. Then Mandragora smashed in a gorgeous late long-range strike for 2-0 after a loose clearance, and it's good to mention that they were a man down at this point as well, as Ranieri had been sent off. Juve finished the match with 26 shots, but few clear-cut chances. I can only remember the Kenan one, to be honest.
Yeah, quantity over quality chances. And there are quite a few problems with this Juve team, and now, of course, it's not in their hands anymore to qualify for Champions League. They have to play Torino in a derby. This is going to be massive for Torino. Have been in decent form. Granted, they've just lost to Cagliari, but they've been much better.
Because their minds were on Juve.
Di Gregorio concedes the first shot yet again. That's absolutely unbelievable this season. He needs to be replaced, man. He needs to be replaced. You can't get away with this. And to be honest with you, I would play Perin in the next one because it's gone too far.
I don't know why they started playing him again.
Because
I think he had a moment, he saved a penalty and cried.
Yeah, but Perin made a mistake as well. So I think that kind of leveled the playing field again. Because if Di Gregorio thinks himself, this guy's out there making mistakes, why not play me? I make mistakes. Bremer is out versus Torino. Massive loss. Makes that game much harder for them. The goals from midfield have dried up for Juve. It's not like there were many to begin with. It was mostly McKennie who would pitch in from midfield. But Thuram, I think recently you mentioned that
Spalletti had said, like, all I want from Thuram now is to start contributing to more goals, start scoring more goals. And you remember he had said that, then he had scored a few in a few games.
Yes. Vlahovic, of course, wasn't great, bro. His positioning needs to improve. He's been offside because of pedestrian ball watching way too many times now. This one was a rebound. He could have easily looked at the last man and
Yeah.
adjusted himself. That's just a lack of focus. He had only 1 of 4 shots on target this game. And this, interestingly enough, was his 9th game against Fiorentina since joining Juventus. And he hasn't scored a single goal yet. Which makes me wonder. Spalletti has Openda, David and Milik all on the bench. Why isn't he bringing any of them on?
Because they're bad, Jake.
Well,
they're
Vlahovic
bad.
wasn't exactly playing well.
Yes, but Vlahovic scored in the last 2 games he played. You know, there's no as in,
They
fresh
spent a
legs,
lot of money on these
fresh
players. It's not a
legs
good
and
look.
creating moments. No, it's an awful look,
Yeah.
bro. It's a terrible look.
Yeah.
And they are they going to start from scratch again at the end of the season, like they did 2 seasons over?
I think that this is quite bad for Juve, and they're going to have to rethink quite a few of the plans that they
But
they
who's
have
thinking
made.
at Juve at the top? As in, it's a poorly run club.
It is a poorly run club.
Juventus at this stage now. It sounds a bit sensational to say this because let's keep in mind they started the season with Tudor. That decision to keep Tudor, even though they said they'll extend his contract if he got them Champions League. He got them Champions League, and they extended his contract, which is a gentleman's word or whatever. But they extended his contract. He had 16 games for Juve in the league, and that's awful from me. He had 8 matches. I was counting so I have 8 matches, 3 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses. I was counting the 8 in the games played. So that's 3 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses. That's what Tudor started with, and then of course there were the Champions League statistics as well. Spalletti came in, the 28 matches, 15 wins, 8 draws, 5 losses. There was clearly an improvement over there. Of course, still a number of draws and losses, and it's still not perfect. But at least one thing that I'm grateful for Juve is they made the decision to extend Spalletti's contract before he got Champions League, before this failure and before this shit show. Because they can't make a rush decision now, change their minds and sack him based off of that. Thankfully they made their bed. They need to sleep in it. For me, it is everything around Spalletti that needs to change.
Yeah. Similar situation to Allegri at Milan, no?
That's a bit more controversial.
Are you
But
sure?
I'll save my opinions for the last match, like I told you.
Yeah.
Even though I have an opinion now, I just don't want it to bite me in the ass.
Fair enough. Yes, bro. I think that's the unfortunate reality for Juve at the moment. They had certain plans now to bring in the likes of Alisson, to bring in the likes of Bernardo Silva.
Say it right.
Bernard
Bernard, exactly.
Yeah. I'm not sure if at this point in his career he would risk a season outside of the Champions League. I think he'd want to play in that.
I mean, not only that, but they're going to need to sell a player.
Yes.
Because Juve, financially, they are by no means the powerhouse that they used to be back in the day when Fiat, basically, every single person in Italy was essentially employed by Fiat. They were the biggest employer. They were fucking handing out checks to everyone.
Yeah.
There's a great chapter on them in the book Calcio that I got you. They are by no means that. They rely on Champions League.
It's an Italian thing at this point.
So
in
they're
time,
gonna
right?
need to
The
make
only
a
way
sale,
to compete with. Yeah. And the problem for them is that it's not going to be easy to sell the players who are on high wages, because the players who are on high wages haven't been performing, and they won't have any suitors. No one's going to match their
So
salaries.
they're losing Vlahovic on a free.
Yeah, that's going to free up a bit of space for them, because that's like 12 million. It's ridiculous.
a season.
Yeah.
Cope Miners, they're definitely going to lose money from him if they sell Cope Miners.
I'm not sure again if there'll be a suitor for his salary.
Yeah, probably not. Who are they going
they
to
have
sell?
so many flops.
Thuram,
Openda, David.
Yildiz.
They're not going to sell Yildiz. I highly doubt they'll sell Yildiz. No,
He's the only. He is probably the only player that would have many suitors. Thuram would as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
But he'd be their most expensive player.
It would be
He could
Yildiz,
replace the Champions League money like that if Juve wanted to.
Yildiz, Bremer, and Thuram, I think, would be the most valuable.
But how devastating that is.
Oh, it's bad. Though.
It's
Yeah,
devastating.
It's bad. And Juve fans are down in the dumps right now. If you know any Juve fans, check in on them.
Yeah.
Send them your love. They need it. They are currently, of course, let's just conclude this, in 6th place with 68 points, while Fiorentina are in 15th with 41 points.
Jake just ended my match without consulting me.
Oh my god, I thought that was my match. Sorry.
I don't have too much to add. This is asshole, man. Everything is yours. Everything's not about you, bro. It's my game.
Right.
You remember prepping for this one, dog?
I prepped for all of them, bro.
Damn. All I'll say is that Juve's last game is the Derby del Mole or Della Mole, whatever. Away to Torino. Torino are also going to want to destroy Juve, just to ensure that they finish as low as possible. They want them to finish in 6th place. The only case in which Juve can do it is if both Roma and Milan lose and Juve win. But if Juve finish like level on points in 4th with Como, they're in trouble because Como have a better direct encounter.
Yeah.
The only way any direct encounter suits Juve is if it's Roma, or then if it's Milan, if it's just them and Milan, obviously, because they have an equal, they have 2 0-0s, so they have 2 points each. And then it goes to, like I said earlier, to goal difference, where you have a better goal difference. But that's all, we can move on.
Absolutely. Como won.
But that's it. Como are in 6th place. They're in 5th.
At least get it right, bro. Como 1, Parma 0. El Fege couldn't do it this time.
Shout out to my father-in-law, Tony, who was watching this game, hoping for Como to get Champions League. Shout out Big Town, Tony.
He was at
Town.
the stadium.
Of course
What
he
feedback
was.
did he give you? Told you anything?
I haven't spoken to him since.
Ah, damn. Okay. So Como kept the remarkable Champions League push alive with a dominant, quite frankly, victory, 1-0 victory over Parma at the Senegalia. So we have Bute in goal for Como as they lined up the 4-2-3-1 formation with Moreno, Kempf, Ramon and Van de Bremt at the back. Perrone and Acuna in the double pivot with Diao and Kakere playing out wide, Baturina in the middle and Duvikas up front. As for Parma, Zion Suzuki was in goal. Circati, Troilo and Valenti formed their formidable back three with Del Prato on the right, Carboni on the left, Ordonez, Nicolusi, Caviglia and Keita in the middle with Pellegrino and Strefezza starting together up front. So Alberto Moreno scored the winner in the 58th minute. He smacked it in after a move that began with Martin Baturina hitting the post from a free kick and Jesus Rodriguez keeping the attack alive. Como were overwhelmingly superior throughout. They struck the woodwork twice through Duvikas and Baturina, while Parma had a Pellegrino equalizer ruled out for a very, very tight offside. Very tight offside. Of course, this kept Como's hopes alive, while Parma really won't be too bothered about this one. Bro, Como just keep doing it. And this time we saw one of the experienced players who was brought in to kind of be a leader in this team, Moreno, scoring. A rare goal for him. Isn't this the moment where these big name players come to life? We're seeing Jamie Vardy at Cremonese. We're seeing Khedira, who has a lot of experience now playing at a high level. Of course, he was at Napoli, bursting to life and trying to save these teams. What do you think about that?
Firstly, you said they just keep on doing it. As a wise man once said, do it, do it, do it, do it. That's number one. Number two, yes, absolutely, man. I mean, this was like Pedro at Lazio last season. It is. And this is why. So I think Como are good for Serie A. I know a lot of people would disagree with me. I think Como are very good for Serie A. I think they're not great for the Italian national team, right? Which is a huge distinction.
Elaborate. Why are they great for Serie A?
They're great for Serie A because they bring a really modern style of football. They're a club that empower youth. And they just do it differently. But
Exactly.
the
That's
thing
They're
that
different, bro. That's always good.
the thing that I value the most about Como is the mix of youth and experience when it came to the signing of players. So you look at clubs like City, PSG, when they get the influx of cash, they get the Saudi
Newcastle.
cash, they get this cash. But Newcastle also kind of did it sustainably. I fucked with their signings when they
Okay.
just got the influx of cash. They did quite slowly. They just afforded to bring in players. There was no massive splash of cash by Como on big names, this and that. Every player was signed with a vision from a group of people that run this club that are completely, either they're all completely on the same page, or everyone's just letting Fabregas do his thing and giving him 100% decision making, bring in who you want and whatever.
I think there's a clear leadership there. You know, I don't think the owner interferes too much. I think he has his people, his experts, and he lets them work. I feel like in many clubs nowadays you have egos overlapping and contradicting each other. You know, how is it that, for example, again, sorry to jump to this, but an Allegri team, fucking, he's given Nkunku. He doesn't play with, he doesn't use that kind of player in his system. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's bad leadership.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? How is it that, for example, Roma, you know, you look at Roma, they had gone from Mourinho, what was it, bro? Mourinho
to De Rossi to Juric.
To fucking, oh yeah, whatever. Let's do that. That's a crazy jump because you're changing the philosophy massively with the same squad, right? I think that they're working in harmony, Como, and they're working intelligently.
Who the fuck came after Juric and then? Ranieri.
Ranieri, thank you,
Ranieri
and
and
then
Gasperini.
Yeah. But yes, bro, Como absolutely destroyed them. 23 shots to 2, 2.77 XG to 0.43, 4 big chances to 1, 15 corners to 2, doubled twice the passes, 14 free kicks to 10.
Well, obviously,
Massive, I mean,
obviously,
yeah,
because
they
you
destroyed them.
have a team that plays and a team that disrupts.
Yeah.
This is the complete opposites. You look at Fabregas, you look at Cuesta, there couldn't be two. He's even more defensive than Allegri.
Yeah,
Cuesta,
bro.
it's catenaccio
We're
at its
talking
finest.
Two complete ends of the spectrum clashing over here.
Exactly.
Yes, massive. And yes, bro, do you think... Shall we make a prediction before the last match then?
I hate these, but maybe we should save it for. So after this, we'll discuss the top four a little bit, and maybe we can give our predictions.
Fair
But what I will say is, Como do not have an easy game, but that is gonna be a fucking fantastic game, and I think that's what's gonna make all games happen at the same time, because that is the game that is linking the battle for Champions League with the relegation battle, because it's Cremonese, Como, bro. So it is a final for a club that it's not in their hands, but they have to win if they want any chance of playing in the Champions League, versus Cremonese, who also not in their hands, but they have to win if they want to be in Serie A next season.
Yes, Nico Paz is injured, which is a massive headache for both Argentina and Como with the World Cup coming up. In fact, Argentina actually put pressure on Como to leave Paz out of this one, and that's why he didn't feature. It's a knee issue he's got. So we'll see what happens over
You
there.
use that a lot in football, man, the knee.
The knee, it's a knock to the knee, but God knows, that could be anything. Completely unrelated, bro, but I feel the need to ask you simply because we're both Neymar to Brazil. He's joining the fucking squad.
So I think, like, it's probably gonna look ridiculous because when you bring on Neymar, who doesn't have it, and then you leave out a player in his prime like João Pedro, it's terrible. But
dressing room
but
influence, right?
dressing room influence, bro. I watched it live. I was brushing my teeth and I'm scrolling through TikTok because I can't do anything without having anything on. It's a disaster. I'm brushing my teeth and swiping on TikTok, getting water on it, and it's getting
with the
stuck.
hand that has
With the
stillness tattooed on it.
I know. That's what I'm brushing my teeth with. But I'm watching it and I'm like, this is insane, because I want to see if Neymar is going to get called up. The second he says Neymar, everyone loses their mind, because these people are Brazilian.
Yeah.
Brazilian, they went crazy over Endrick because they call him the chosen one, sent from God.
Yeah.
They believe in these things, bro. You're saying Neymar has the opportunity to go in the dressing room and listen to this, bro. Everyone there respects him. He is everyone's idol.
Of course.
He is everyone's idol. It is Zlatan when Milan won the league, right?
He's the boy who
Tonali
made it when they were
adored him.
young. They
Theo adored
idolized
him.
him.
Exactly. Now, it's the final. Brazil are holding a comfortable lead. 90th minute. They bring on Neymar, hand him the armband. Maybe he scores, maybe he doesn't, but Neymar lifts the World Cup.
Oh, that would be mental, eh? But
Because, it's a possibility because Ancelotti is their manager and he's one of the best knockout managers I've seen.
for me, it was a no-brainer to take Neymar, man. Fuck, he really wanted it, and you can see there was a league game recently where he was accidentally substituted. I don't know if you saw it.
Because
was
that's where
hilarious.
he's playing, Bandlit Al-Mosta.
And
the
he
one
was-
behind the church.
He was devastated. He looked like that decision cost him the World Cup, and honestly, I'm happy he's going because it's just gonna make for an entertaining watch.
You can't. You like I argued with the group chat today. You can't be a football fan and not want Neymar at a World Cup. You kidding me? Fuck Joao Pedro, man. Fuck Joao Pedro.
You heard it here first. We didn't really talk much about Como.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did. To be fair, yeah. I mean, Pellegrino scored offside, very narrow offside. And Parma, I think, also have a cute little project going on. I like what they're doing. Parma. We'll see if Cuesta stays on because he would be in demand right now. He
would be
did
in
a great
demand.
job. Some managers really did well, man, in this relegation area. Like Pisacane really punched above his weight in his first season. Cuesta really punched. Man, we had 3 debutants in Serie A this season with Kivu, Cuesta, and Pisacane. And they all did well.
Dude, let me tell you, man. There is no place
Like
like Serie A, yes,
Spotlight.
like Serie A spotlight, but no, there's no place like Serie A for young up and coming managers to make a name for themselves. I'm just gonna start spitting, okay?
Go
From
on.
this season, Kivu won the league at Inter. Fabregas got European football for Como, still within the chance of getting Champions League. Cuesta came in, Parma favoured for relegation. They survived because of him. De Rossi joined Genoa and brought them back to the heights. Grosso got promoted with Sassuolo. He's pushing for 10th spot with them. It's just fucking amazing. Then you see Italiano still doing his thing. The young managers in Serie A are thriving,
Killing it,
bro.
they're killing it.
Thriving.
There's a good generation of coaches, at least.
Yes.
At least.
Well, you know why? Yeah, because they start playing catenaccio with the under 13s, not letting them run and be creative.
Stop dribbling. Yeah. Como, of course, are currently, this isn't your game, currently in 5th with 68 points, while Parma are safe and sound in 13th with 42 points.
So shall we do a quick prediction over it? I'll ask our beautiful producer Tyson to pull up the league table if you have it available, bud. Just let's make our predictions, man. Let's fucking do it. And I think the graphic Tyson created also has right next to the points. It also has the team that they're facing next.
Oh, that's good.
Which is great.
That's
even
massive.
for the people that are watching on YouTube are everything to us. What a place to watch us. So I'm probably gonna want to pull it up on YouTube myself just so we could get a good view of it.
Yeah, it's going to take some time till it catches up,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I should have brought my binoculars.
Nah, there.
But we can just take a look here, bro. I mean, it's...
Okay, pull up that and I'll pull up the
You
fixtures.
pull up the fixtures, exactly.
Exactly, that's amazing. Look at the synergy between us, bro. It's like we've been doing this for 5 years together. Me fixtures, you table.
Exactly.
I say like a caveman.
Me fixtures, you table.
So, Jake,
Yes.
who is,
Mhm.
apart from Inter and Napoli, gonna make top 4? Who takes 3rd? Who takes 4th? Milan and Roma, who are tied in 3rd and 4th. Milan will be facing Cagliari,
At
and
home.
they'll be facing Cagliari at home.
And
Sorry about
Roma,
that. And Roma
Hellas Verona away.
are gonna be facing... Bro, stop taking my shit, okay? Roma are gonna be facing Hellas Verona away. Hellas, on good form, despite already being relegated, they want to go out with a bang. And Verona, it's been ages since we've seen Verona get relegated from Serie A. The amount of great escapes that they've done is mental. They have it in them to create one final upset before they go down.
They do.
Como and Juve are 2 points behind. Juve have the derby della Mole away from home against Torino after a loss to Fiorentina. Torino are going to want to stick it to them. Como away to Cremonese. Cremonese battling relegation and need a win. Who the fuck gets top 4, 3rd and 4th? Tell me right now.
I'm gonna tell you that, and then this is gonna spoil something from the prediction series, but I don't think Milan beat Cagliari, man. And I think that Roma will win. I think Como will win, which means they catch Milan, but Milan have a better head-to-head. And I don't think Juve beat Torino either. And I think, therefore, like that, Milan and Roma get Champions League. And Milan get it just like this. Like
So you're saying Roma get Champions League? Do they beat Verona?
Roma beat Verona, I say.
Oof.
What do you think? And I think Milan draw to Cagliari.
As ChatGPT would say, I think this is going to be chaos.
I think this is going to be absolute chaos, hyphen.
It's not only going to be a tough situation, it is going to be chaos. I think...
It's not just a game. It's life or death.
I think Milan beat Cagliari. I think Roma slip up. I think Roma draw to Hellas. I think Juve don't beat Torino. I think they draw.
That's a hard one for them.
I think Como beat Cremonese. I think Milan and Como get Champions League. That's my prediction.
Oh my god. Bro, €50.
I was about to fucking do it. If Milan and Como finish level on points, Milan, of course, go ahead of Como with direct encounter.
Bro, is it time for the relegation talk?
You bet your sweet, big, luscious, juicy tushy, bro. And who do we start with? Shall we start with Sassuolo Lecce, which is my game?
Yeah, we can.
Let's start with Sassuolo Lecce.
What a game of football.
Best game of the week.
Ooh,
Hands down.
By far.
Hands down is the best game of the week. Sassuolo 2, Lecce 3. So Sassuolo missed their chance to break into the top 10 after Udinese's lost to Cremonese, but there is no real incentive for that. They missed Boloka and Valukevic. Lecce would have thought that a win would guarantee them safety. But that would not be the case, as they will be in the exact same situation next weekend as they were this weekend. 1 point ahead of Cremonese, with the deciding match happening at the exact same time. Sotil still unavailable for Lecce. The previous encounter between these two sides was a 0-0 draw. Grosso's men played a 4-3-3 formation, Turati in goal, backline of Ulysses, Muharemovic, Felipe and Koulibaly, midfield three of Kone, Matic and Tordsvet, with Lauriente, Inzola and Berardi forming the front three. 4-2-3-1 for Lecce, with Falcone in goal, backline of Vega, Siebert, Gabriel and Gallo, midfield two of Ramadani and Ngom with Koulibaly just ahead of them, Pierotti on the right, fucking Lamin Banda on the left, with Walid Zidane Kedira up front.
Bro, Lamin Banda has never been so real, and Kedira. We'll get to it.
Lamin Banda isn't real, he can't hurt you. Grosso thought, after listening to Nick on Serie Spotlight. But let me take you through the play-by-play.
Please.
Kedira got the opener with a good finish inside 14 minutes after a terrible back pass by Ulysses, but it was great anticipation by the Moroccan forward. This guy was on his toes the entire game. No celebration from him. If you remember, he started off the season at Sassuolo. He is still, I believe, loaned out from Napoli.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken. Tyson, if I'm wrong, message me idiot immediately. Lauriente equalized 5 minutes later after good work by Berardi and a square ball into the box by Pedro Felipe. But again, 5 minutes later, Lecce go back ahead with Banda's in-swinging cross, which was headed in by Kedira to get his second. And I feel bad for Kedira, because you saw what Kedira was like after he scored a couple of weeks ago, or last week if I'm not mistaken. He would have wanted to go fucking mental, bro.
Bro, honestly, at that point, you look at the stands. It's all Lecce fans. There are like 7 Sassuolo fans. Burn the bridge, man.
Burn the bridge.
Go
dude.
crazy.
Burn
But
the
honestly,
bridge.
respect though. Because twice he would have been
No,
fueled with
that's-
adrenaline
that's-
and you love to see that. I mean,
That's for
respect,
3 a.m. viewing of top 10 respect moments in football. That's one of those. Sassuolo think they've equalised through Tordsved, but it's ruled out for offside in the build-up. Womp womp. Kone missed a big chance from close range shortly after. And then the second half started with Sassuolo on top. Inzola, that you said a great line on Tammy Abraham once, that if Inzola was the shooter, John Lennon would be 60 whatever this year, because Inzola couldn't score. Only against Milan this guy scores. Towards vet and then hit the woodwork. No, but seriously, Inzola missed a number of
missed
chances.
so many chances.
And
There
like,
was one of them, bro. He skied it. He should have.
he doesn't know how to like hit the ball. Like he
I
gets
see him leaning back.
underneath it. He leans back. It's really
can't understand
when
this.
Inzola looks bad, he looks like he can't play football.
Yeah.
Um,
He's serviceable. I mean, you can pass him, but he'll hold it up well. But then the second you need him to finish.
No, terrible,
Oh my
terrible
God,
finisher. Pinamonti eventually leveled it in the 82nd minute with a back heel finish after a cross from Ulysses, low
If
cross.
there are people who are confused by this Ulysses thing, that's Garcia.
Ulysses Garcia.
the Sassuolo left back.
But Ulysses is like the coolest name ever, so I'm just gonna double down on it.
I'm gonna write that down,
Ulysses.
'cause, yeah, Sarah and I have a list of baby names for the future, and I like this one.
Ulysses.
Ulysses. Like, what do you think, baby Ulysses?
And I'm thinking of going Achilles for my
Achilles?
firstborn, bro.
Achilles Fennec, which
Achilles
translates to
Fennec.
Achilles Rabbit in Maltese. Not quite his heel, is it?
Anyway, bro, this is the biggest game of the week. It feels like it's all over. An 82nd minute equalizer. You're kidding me, bro.
86th, I think it was, no? 82nd, no, 82nd. Sorry.
I was having an aura moment, but whatever. But then, 5 minutes of stoppage time were added. In the 95th minute and 16th second, Lecce go long. Gandelman flicks it on to Stulic. Stulic turns the defender as the ball goes over both of them, and he finishes it into the far corner, low and proper, to win the game 3-2. Fucking scenes, bro.
Scenes.
I wish that was the moment Lecce confirmed survival. But alas, and the coolest thing about this game was with the Cremonese match happening at the same time and Cremonese winning that match, it looked like Lecce were being overtaken for a large portion of the game. And it looked like, because I had them open next to me, they were 1 point under Cremonese after that 82nd minute goal. So it really was do or die. And I hope they didn't celebrate too hard, because they have a huge game coming up now over the weekend that, a win would absolutely guarantee them survival. But bro, in this match, midfield control and all this bullshit doesn't matter. You have a Sassuolo that have nothing to play for, but they're a team of creatives, and they're a grosso team, and they have players like Lauriante, they have players like Berardi, they have players like Pinamonti, Tordsved, these inventive players who like to shine. So you have them versus Lecce, a very system team. It was all transitions this game, bro.
All of it.
Punch. It was like a boxing match, man. Chance to chance to
loved
chance.
every second of it, to be honest with you, man. I thought that Banda was so exciting, and he caused so many problems with Gallo and Ngom on that side, and even Koulibaly had a decent little cameo. But Pierotti, bro, has been at the end of the season. It's Pierotti
Beast,
time.
man.
Like he's so good. He's big. He's strong. He has a good stride about him. You don't want him to shoot, huh?
No.
You don't want
Why
him to
would he
shoot. Don't shoot. Don't cross. Just
No, don't
drive
don't
and
do
win the
it.
ball back. Drive, pass. Yes. But Kedira, can I say that this is one of the best individual performances I have seen in a while. He was so close to getting a hat-trick as well, and the hat-trick would have been an emphatic goal, because it was a long ball over the top. He takes a touch with his weaker left foot, and it controls it mid-air, and it goes up in front of him, it rises. To tee himself up perfectly, to smack it on the volley, and Turati just flies across the
What
face
a
of
save
goal and
by
saves it
Turati.
top corner. It would have been a remarkable goal. And this game, man, right? So just before Sassuolo equalized, Lecce had brought on Camarda.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see there was a little bit of panic because it's like, oh my God, we need to score. And our striker is like 17.
A child.
Yes, our striker is a kid. And it looks like he's just seen The Godfather because his hair was all slicked back. Like, you know, that messy like me after I watched The Godfather. It's a bit... and so what they did was they brought on Stulic, who has really fallen out of favor recently. And like you look at the socials of Lecce, Stulic is a target of abuse from the fan base because he was quite a big signing. He was the Kristovic replacement, right? And he was meant to be a big thing.
Now he's just trying to eat hot dogs through his sleeve in meetings.
Yeah. What was his name?
Tim Robinson.
Tim Robinson. Yeah. And this was just such a massive goal, bro. And I'm not ashamed to say it made me emotional. Made me super emotional, this goal.
That's really weird because nothing makes you emotional.
Football
It is Tim
and
Robinson,
music
okay.
makes me emotional.
No, honestly, I mean, if you're a football fan, this doesn't make you emotional. It's crazy because Lecce just have heart, man.
Yeah,
they have so much heart. And a moment like that, especially for an underdog like Stulic, everything was going wrong for him. Listen, keep in mind, this was a huge season for Lecce because Lecce downgraded significantly. They had Krstovic up front, bro. Last season, Krstovic got them 11 goals and 5 assists. This year, their top scorers, they have 2 of them. They have 4 goals each with Banda and Stulic. So Stulic is their top scorer this season, but, you know, it's not enough. Khedira has just joined like in January. He hasn't played as regularly, but he's got 3 goals already. 2 of them were scored in this game. That's how quick it could be to get to 4 goals.
Take this to the World Cup, Khedira. Take this
it
form to the World Cup.
Il Maroc. Shukran. I've been to Morocco.
I love
and
Morocco.
I have a strong affinity. And once I was in the desert and I asked our guide, do you know Benatia? He goes, brother, all I know is desert. And I'm like, bars, bro. I'm not even gonna fucking argue with that.
All I know is desert is crazy.
All I know desert is a bar.
That's philosophical because that's essentially all I know is nothing. All I know is that I know nothing.
I bet you the desert is a lot more complicated than we think, huh?
Probably. Ulysses, brother. I think we can go to the Cremonese game.
Let's do it
down
quick,
and then
let's do that quick succession. I'll just tell you where they stand right now. So, as I said, Sassuolo are in 11th on 49 points, whereas Lecce are in 17th on 35. But Jake, who is 1 point behind them?
Oh, it is indeed Cremonese. And Cremonese had to go to Udine to play Udinese, of course, and they decided to line up in 3-5-2 this time, with Giampaolo swapping things up a little bit. He played Audero on goal, Terracciano, Bianchetti and Luperto at the back, Barbieri on the right, Pezzella on the left, with Male, Grassi and Thorsby as a midfield powerhouse, Bonazzoli and Jamie Vardy playing together up front, and once again Jamie Vardy was the difference maker. That is twice. I love that he got going finally.
Vardy,
yeah.
Of course, man.
I love that he started scoring. In fact, it was him who scored early to keep Cremonese alive till the final day, and Cremonese took the lead. In fact, just 9 minutes in, after Udinese failed to deal with a defensive mistake in build-up play. Exactly, it was Bonazzoli's shot that was parried by Okoye, and Vardy was the quickest to slot home and react on the rebound, from close range. From there, Cremonese defended with pure organization and discipline, bro. They were absolutely amazing. They were a unit when it comes to the defense. Udinese dominated possession, but they struggled to turn control into clear chances. They had to shoot from long range a lot. They had unsuccessful crosses that were simply cleared out or that were too long. They couldn't penetrate Cremonese. The match briefly swung in Udinese's favour when they were awarded a penalty, but VAR overturned the decision due to an offside in the build-up. Later, Buxa had the ball in the net, but the goal was disallowed for a foul on Audero in the build-up phase. Despite the late pressure, Cremonese held on, with Audero producing some very good saves, especially one from Sole, to secure all 3 points. Brother, Cremonese looked super organized. What's happening? If only they could do a little bit of this like a few weeks ago. You know?
They'd be pissed, man.
Yeah.
They'd be pissed because they keep pulling rabbits out of their hats with these wins, with these draws, etc. Cremonese can't be doing more to stay up at this stage. They fucked up in the past and they went through the awful spell that they went through, but now they really are doing as much as Lecce to stay up. The problem is, no matter what they're doing, Lecce are doing it as well.
Yeah.
So it's one of those situations where you don't want either of these teams to go down, because they're all giving us a show until the end of it. And a part of me still wishes that, you know, Lecce lose the next game, Cremonese get a draw in the next game, and let there be a relegation play out between these two. Let's see who wants
Give
it
it
more,
to
man.
me, fuck it. I want it as well. I want it.
We all want it.
We all want it. Let's do it.
Yes.
Yes, bro. I thought they were super organized. Gianpaolo with the 3-5-2 and this defensive organization.
Mhm.
Wow, let's talk about growth. Shout out Gianpaolo.
Can I just say,
Ah.
the commentator on the Vardy goal was fucking hilarious, bro.
Is it the
No. It was the standard one. No, and where it starts going, Jamie Vardy with his Netflix special. Out now on Netflix. Go give it a watch. Available until 19th of June.
so funny.
It's proper shouting it out, bro. The star of his own documentary on Netflix. It's like, he also won the league for Leicester. You know what I'm saying?
That's so funny. That's hilarious. I thought that Udinese were a little bit lethargic, personally. I thought that many of the... I mean, they weren't inventive, and they kept things quite route one when it comes to their attempt to penetrate this Cremonese team. I think they needed a little bit more of a spark, but they didn't have it. And of course, take nothing away from Cremonese's defense,
no
but-
Zaniolo, no Ekkelenkamp, no Ezibwe, who also has a bit of flair to him.
Yeah, those are three big misses,
Mhm.
of course. But yeah, bro, it has to go to a playout. I mean, I
want
think
it,
that's.
bro.
I think at this point, man, with them both like hitting form towards the end of the season and only 1 point separating them, that is the only fair outcome.
Yeah, look, but so who do they play? Who do they play now? They play, or let's finish this. But what I do want to say is, I don't. Udinese had their chances, but I thought this was impressive by Cremonese overall. This game, I thought they did excellently.
Because they scored so early, but still managed to shut up shop and really limit Cremonese, man. Udinese, because Udinese barely had any chances. Let me tell you the exact stat over here. So, because if you look at the chances created, it's actually quite shocking. Yeah, man, Udinese had 0 big chances. They
Crazy, man.
Yeah, Audero only had to make 2
Two
saves.
saves. I'm
Yeah.
just seeing that now as well.
Expected goals, I mean, they only conceded 0.35 XG.
I knew what I was gonna say because I blabbed a bit there to cover up for a terrible memory. Baschirotto, poor thing, bro. Moves from Lecce to Cremonese. And as it stands, if they both lose tomorrow, if they both get the same result tomorrow, Baschirotto is going to watch his former club escape relegation by the skin of their teeth as they send him down to relegation. So every Lecce player is responsible for getting their former captain, someone that they have adored in the past, relegated, man.
Yes, bro, and this reminds me, in Serie B, there is a playout happening between Südtirol.
The playoffs happening as well.
Yeah, but the playout is between Südtirol and Bari.
Ooh.
And
Bari with their cool ass stadium.
Andrea
bro.
Mazziello, you'll remember him from Atalanta. He was also involved in a match-fixing scandal.
It's rock and roll.
Yeah, he took a bribe, and he admitted it. So that's why I can say it so openly. He's currently playing for Südtirol, but he has over 100 games for Bari. He's represented both
Dang.
teams. He's decided to retire before the playout.
You told me
Yeah,
that.
that's
fucking
amazing.
Crazy,
Amazing,
bro.
no?
That's crazy.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want to relegate.
Oh,
either of
but
these teams.
his current team would hate it. I guess some people would respect it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but I would hate it. But anyway, tell us where they stand so we can give a fucking prediction, dog.
Yes, so Udinese are in 10th with 50 points, whereas with Udinese B, while Cremonese are in 18th with 34. Cremonese, Udinese, Milanese, what is this, man?
What's this? La Genovese, Pasta la Genovese. Those great table tennis sisters in Malta, the Genoveses. But anyway. Okay.
Their next game we were going to discuss.
Yes, so Cremonese have to play Como at home,
Yeah.
whilst Lecce need to play Genoa at home. So I think it's safe to say obviously, we know what the easier fixture is.
It's
It's
clear.
the Genoa
Yeah,
game.
of course. And of course, it's Genoa in Lecce Stadium, which is a massive advantage for them because their support is some of the best in the league.
It was Genoa, the fans. It was like they were going to war, man. How much they wanted to win that game against Milan.
Look, man, there have been this season in Serie A so many points gained by teams from every end of the table at home.
Mm-hmm.
It has been a very tough year. So home advantage for both teams is massive going into the end. Como they need one last hurrah, one last push, and they haven't been blowing teams out of the water lately, Como. In fact, they've been getting by with their last 4 games have been 2-0, 0-0, 1-0, 1-0. You know what I mean? They're really edging it.
I'm just noticing we've already given our predictions on the Como Cremonese game, so we can start from there. I said Como are going to win this game.
I said Como are going to win this game as well,
You did.
which means
That absolutely means,
that Lecce
and this
said-
is very anticlimactic, it absolutely means that Lecce would stay up if our
Yeah.
prediction comes true. But for the fun, my God. Lecce Genoa, you think Lecce managed to get a point? 3, maybe?
They have good momentum. I think they can do 3 points. I think they can end the season on a remarkable high, man. Lecce have been doing this for so many seasons now, where they take it till the very end and then they overperform at the
I
end.
just have a feeling they're not going to win this.
Yeah.
I have a feeling Genoa win it, man. That's just a feeling. I have don't ask. I think they lose. I think they
I'd
lose.
go draw or win Lecce. Okay, we'll save this for the prediction series anyway.
Okay. Shall we go through the games that, just to cover them slightly? There was the game
Of
where
course.
Inter lifted the trophy at the San Siro. It's my turn, right? Yes, it is. So let me just take you slightly through Inter Hellas Verona, just a summary of the match in which Inter lifted the trophy. So it was a party atmosphere from the get-go. The tifo was crazy. The fans completely sold out stadium, packed with Inter fans. Fresh from completing the domestic double with the Coppa Italia win over Lazio just 4 days earlier. There was also a pre-match tribute to Inter legend Evaristo Beccalossi. Pardon me if I butchered that, who had died earlier that month. The football itself was pretty much secondary when you look at the entire atmosphere over here. You have the ready champions against an already relegated team. However, Inter did take the lead early in the second half through an Edmondson own goal.
Who played really well, Miskin.
Edmondson was very involved because he was the one, man marking the bunnies of the world. But he had a good game. He has a mistake in him. And I wouldn't mind for him to have a season in Serie B as well. But the ball bounced off him after a Boni header, deflecting off his chest. Lautaro had several chances to add to his capocannoniere tally, but couldn't convert, and Verona equalised late through Kieran Bowie to earn a small piece of pride for the already relegated side. It was quite a good strike.
I thought it was really clever,
From
the finish,
Bowie,
man.
because no one was expecting him to shoot at that point, and he shot. It's like when the ball was covered by the defender in front of him,
Yeah.
so he didn't have to hit it with power. He just kind of
Disguised it, yeah.
disguised it into
Yeah.
the far
It's-
corner. And please, so you also, Bowie, take this form to the World Cup.
It was like
Scotland.
a snooker shot almost.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally. After the final whistle, Lautaro lifted the Scudetto trophy to scenes of euphoria at San Siro before the squad headed off to an open bus parade through the streets of Milan, where Barella said some stuff that he can't take back now, which included
Yeah. Maltuse! Also, by the way, they had an inflatable Lukaku that they threw off the bus.
that's amazing.
Someone threw a Milan kit at Çalhanoğlu and he threw it back. Yeah. There were some funny moments, to be honest. They looked like they had a great time.
What else is he gonna do? Wipe his fucking shit with it? You know what I mean? So he's gonna throw it back.
Balotelli wore it once. Balotelli had that exact situation on television and he wore it.
No, what did he do? He joined Milan.
Atalanta 0, Bologna 1 was also a game that took place, and this was a bit of a sneaky game because there was something to play for, because the first leg of the previous encounter
Honor.
was Bologna 0, Atalanta 2. So Bologna had the opportunity to attempt to 3-0 Atalanta and get the head-to-head advantage in the event that Bologna would win the last match and Atalanta would lose the last match. But I mean, very slim chances of that happening anyway. But they did take 3 points in Bergamo thanks to a 78th-minute goal from substitute Orsolini. Carnesecchi had made some excellent saves, particularly on Rowe and Castro, but he couldn't stop Orsolini's strike. Rowe's cross was perfect to the far post, and Orsolini literally dunked it in with his left foot. Atalanta's best chance of the game came with 15 seconds to spare when Kristovic was played through 1v1 by Pasalic, but Skorupski produced a wonderful save. Now Atalanta are still in 7th, while Bologna are still in 8th. I mean, that was pretty much it. It was a very good disciplined defensive display from Italiano's men, who countered very effectively, and the goal came from a well-worked move, of course, in the second half. This was Orsolini's 4th career goal in Bergamo, and he has now hit double figures this season. Bernardeschi almost got close to scoring another low-driven strike from long range, and Bakker is back for Atalanta.
Bakker is gonna be the headline of this episode.
Imagine that. You've got another one.
Yes, I do. I have the game that confirmed Champions League football for Napoli. There's a lot surrounding Napoli at the moment when it comes to Conte, of course, and his words after the win against Pisa, where people are saying it's pointing towards a farewell. And to be honest, it kind of seems like that to me as well. Because he does tend to work in 2-year spells at clubs, and it's so amicable and it's so odd that I just get the feeling that it's, they're just ending things amicably and moving away. Typically when there's fire with Conte, he's going to stay because he has a point to prove. When it's amicable, you're like, oh, then he must be moving on.
Interesting. That's true.
And we know there's the Italy job available. I can't think of another job that would appeal to him if it's not the Italy job.
Juve, Milan?
Juve no, because Spalletti staying on. Sorry, I confused the balls. Right, Spalletti. But it just seems that way. But again, we'll talk about all these situations in the next episode as the season draws to a close. Or maybe we'll even bring Tyson on and he can tell us all about it.
Oh yeah.
But Pisa 0, Napoli 3 is the game that secured Champions League football for Napoli. They didn't have to beat Pisa that hard 3-0 in their own home. They're already relegated. Napoli could have taken it easy. But was a dominant performance by them. The first goal came from McTominay, who buried a Højlund layoff into the bottom corner. It was around the 21st minute. Rahmani then headed in an Elmas cross over the line to make it 2-0 before halftime. And then Højlund added a third deep into stoppage time with a left-footed shot to wrap up a comfortable evening where Napoli dominated possession with 76%. And 5 shots on target to Pisa's 2. Brilliant stuff by Napoli, and great to see especially Højlund on the score sheet after a little bit of a drought by him.
Yeah, I can't believe how frequently McTominay is scoring nowadays, man. Still, I mean, he landed in Naples and hasn't stopped scoring. It's absolutely sensational.
I can absolutely believe it now. After he started the season off with so much momentum, and it showed that the first season wasn't just look, McTominay is this guy. That's who McTominay is. He's always been that for Scotland. At times he was that for United as well. But then he was just simply misused, and maybe overlooked a little bit. But this is who McTominay is, man. He's a goal scorer. He's a big moment player. I'm gonna support Scotland so fucking hard this season. It's crazy. And Morocco, to be honest, but mainly Scotland. That overhead kick that McTominay scored to seal their, to take them to the World Cup after so long, bro.
Brilliant.
McTominay is him, bro. Absolutely.
He is him. Used and abused he was at United. Cagliari 2-1 Torino was also quite an important game in theory, because Cagliari needed 1 point to confirm mathematical safety, and they managed to land 3. Torino opened the scoring with an Obrador screamer that literally made anyone watching go, Obrador! It was a crazy goal, bro. Wicked goal.
Mental.
How is a
Mental.
goal scored like that, by the way, and you don't see it anywhere, eh?
Hey.
Like, that's what triggers me, man. Say, I need to up their marketing.
Mhm.
And Cagliari responded with a lovely goal from Esposito from distance, well placed into the bottom corner. And then, of course, a tap-in header from Mina, who, if you are a defender and you're trying to defend your line and the goalkeeper is nowhere to be seen, and the person you're defending is Yerry Mina.
Pull his pants
Yerry Mina,
down.
sorry, you've conceded.
Yeah, pull his pants down.
He'll score with a schlong out. He doesn't like, and he'll score and he will dance the most ridiculous dance.
I
moves
don't
you've
know
ever
what
seen.
I think.
You know
I
what I
think
was
my
doing?
reaction would be to pull his pants down.
So I was watching the highlights of this game and I saw him dancing and I kept rewinding and zooming in on
The
the
fans.
fans looking at him doing it. Everyone is weirded out.
They're laughing.
They're
They
laughing,
love
but
him.
but
They
it's
love
kind of
him.
like the first you don't laugh, you know, they do like they look away, you know, it's like subtly. It's
He's a bit
hilarious.
cringe in that
He's
sense.
so funny though. Shithouse, he's a pure shithouse, and I really enjoy
Totally.
watching him. And I'm realizing right now that I'm sat here wearing a Cagliari kit because my logic was let's celebrate their survival. Only to remember at the beginning of the episode that Milan have to face Cagliari next week, and I'm in a Cagliari kit. Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
Whatever, man.
Whatever. I don't believe in this
Guess
shit.
who's on the back and comment below. If you get
Yes,
it right,
exactly.
I'll review a euro.
We're 2 hours in, just so you know.
Okay,
So
excellent.
it's probably a good time to hear from our beautiful patron, Pieter,
Yeah.
who is going to take us through. So he's a massive Juve fan. He's been a Juve fan his entire life. And basically what we messaged him is Juve went from 3rd to 6th. Let us know what you think. We haven't listened to what Pieter has to say yet, so our reactions will be live and raw with the rest of you. Welcome everybody to Patron Corner.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Jake. And thank you, Spotheads, for the opportunity. Obviously, a very difficult, very antagonizing, very frustrating results from the weekend, especially considering the way Juventus capitulated in their match against Fiorentina. What's most difficult, most frustrating, I think, as a Juventus fan, is the manner in which this club continues to repeat or cycle through the same issues. Both Locatelli and Spalletti spoke to player mentality, insinuating that players were not prepared and not ready to play a game of such significance. While completely inexcusable, especially when wearing the black and white, the players and the coaches and management simply haven't been supported by leadership, and this is an issue that needs to be addressed moving forward. One of the things that frustrates me the most as a Juventus fan is the lack of urgency around solidifying a structure of leadership at the top of Juventus. One thing that we've noticed is significant turnover in those positions, as well as managerial roles, which allows no continuity. There's also no continuity in our transfer policies, and in my opinion, bleak as it is, we have now deferred to financial pressures as opposed to building a squad that will lead us back to European and domestic glory. Long gone are the days where we can spend hundreds of millions on one player. But as a result of our spending 40 to 50 per player per year, we've drowned ourselves in significant debt as well. These players have not proven to be viable Juventus players and need to be moved on. However, given their performances with the club, it will be almost impossible to do so. So remedying these personality or mentality issues will be very difficult until we determine what we want to do as a club at a higher level. We must stop taking the bailouts from our higher partners that don't allow us to look ourselves in the mirror and address we are not the financial might of a club that we once were. We must be more prudent with our spending. And that goes with continuity of managers. Replacing a manager every single year, twice a year, means that the players brought in by that manager find themselves lost on the bench when a new manager comes in. We've also got to start taking a look at the quality of players that we have. Our goalkeeping and defending certainly are not up to par. We're exacerbating the situation by playing players like Bremer and Kalulu every minute possible because we simply don't trust the rest of the players. So we've got to make a change in the way that we approach both our fiscal and our transfer policies. We've got to get things to a sustainable point. I hate those types of jargon words, but at this point, Juventus seems to be like a chicken with its head cut off. Spalletti has gained us a great deal of momentum in the positive direction, but losing to Fiorentina and as a result, losing European qualification sinks us back into a very difficult period where we will need to look at other options rather than just spending money. And that's what makes this all so much more difficult. As we lose our games, we're losing them to players like Fagioli and others who came through our systems, but we didn't have the patience for and then moved on to rival clubs. So one of the things I'm most disappointed on is losing that momentum that Spalletti had captured. And now we move into a summer period where more questions can be asked. And again, we're in a season of upheaval as opposed to planning and structuring for the upcoming year. So the loss, devastating as it was, really only highlights a long-standing issue, one that we've got to get a hold of. We've also got to question a little bit some of the Spalletti's decisions. As big of a fan of Coop Miners as I am, how a gentleman with such poor form can start in such an important game at the end of the season is bewildering. I understand injuries and tactics, but this was not the time to reintegrate this individual, such poor form, back into the squad. I would suggest the same for a person like Vlahovic, who, while negotiating, I guess, a new contract should be considered, but we have bought so much towards forwards and attacking. Shouldn't these gentlemen be given a chance, especially knowing Vlahovic is almost certain to leave this summer? So some questions around personnel must be asked of Spalletti, but our leadership group needs help. And one of the things I think more and more each day is removing the great number of leadership members from the very top in order to allow one or two people's ideas to be clear and concise throughout the club and provide direction. And that, I think, is what is missing most about Juventus. The ship has no captain. I hope and pray for Del Piero's return. However, much more work needs to be done. I hope they give Spalletti the time that he deserves, especially since saving what was so clearly a lost season under Tudor. But until we fix the leadership problems, until we address the bailouts from our larger partners so that we don't need to be financially sustainable, until we address the very poor purchasing and the constant coaching turnovers, addressing player mentality, like Locatelli and Spalletti have referred to, will be difficult to do. Hoping for the best in the final game, and maybe even Matt to win the fantasy. All the best.
Hell of a sexy ASMR voice, huh?
Bro, what a fucking voice.
Was he the translator that was speaking to Klopp?
To Klopp. Hey, man. No, really great voice and very, very well put, well spoken, well communicated. And I think, so he mentions the current players and
I have
their...
some notes if you want to go in order, like, because I have it kind of
Sure,
organized. It's
go
probably
for
better.
it.
The first thing he mentioned was the player mentality, and this is something that Spalletti and Locatelli both spoke about, that we don't have the right mentality, right? That the players are kind of scared or they're not hungry enough in these do-or-die moments.
I mean, I think Juve do have a fair amount of players who, you know, give it their all. I think Conceição being one of them, for example. I think Yildiz is another that tries his best, albeit he has certain limitations.
He's young, I mean.
Locatelli as well. Kalulu as well. But then I think a part of the reason he mentions mentality is not because mentality doesn't only refer to someone that's not trying his hardest, but perhaps it means that someone isn't mentally up for representing a club and a shirt like Juve. I think one of those being, for example, the goalkeeper, Di Gregorio, another being Cambiaso.
That's the
know?
clearest
Coke
example of it.
Miners.
The strikers and the goalkeeper are the clearest examples of this fragile mentality that they have. Coop Miners is another great example, bro. Right now there are players who play with fear, and you can't afford to play with fear in these situations because you get exposed. Confidence breeds remarkable moments, whereas a lack of it does the opposite.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, but
Sharks smell blood.
exactly, and it's not something we can disagree with. If Locatelli and Spalletti are saying it, then it is.
I mean,
so be
totally.
it, yes.
Totally.
He also talked about a lack of urgency in solidifying the leadership, and this is the most shocking thing. And we've seen it at many clubs, many big clubs in Italy. This mess of an ownership, of a leadership, and just people tripping over each other. We've literally just spoken about this before, listening to what Pieter had to say. So I don't think we need to elaborate on that.
I mean, I can mention a few names of
Please.
like the downfall of Juve. Well done. Pretty much came. So in 2010, when Agnelli joined Juve, that's when their dominant era started. However, that was also in tandem with when they had a certain Giuseppe Marotta. Together, they won 9 titles, you know. The club collapsed. It started to collapse when Marotta was pushed out in favor of Paratici and Nedved. That's when the club started to see that decline. And then to make matters worse, in 2022, when Elkan stepped in instead of Agnelli. Agnelli was the kind of leader who, you know, he's a businessman, so of course he understands how a business should operate. But first and foremost,
A Juve fan.
he's a huge Juve fan.
Absolutely.
Huge Juve fan. I'm trying to say huge, like Unai Emery. Huge mistake. Huge. But a huge Juve fan, and he had the best intentions for the club. And if something wasn't working, he was the first one to spot it. He was that active kind of CEO figure.
Yeah.
That always wants to figure out the problems.
Yeah. Very
I mean,
hands-on, always at the game.
And he had
yeah.
Marotta to his
Yeah.
side. Look what Marotta's doing with Inter now. It's kind of like this whole dynasty in itself. They're the most dominant team in Italy at the moment. And now you could see Elkan comes in. He's this big finance guy. Doesn't really have a strong affinity towards the club. Has no fucking idea what he's doing. He keeps on trying to find someone that he can hand, like, oh my god, just fucking do this for me, man.
Like
You know?
Chiellini, for example.
Like Chiellini, but more so like with Comolli now, for example. Who did they have before Comolli? Giuntoli, for example, with Motta, and he just keeps hiring and sacking and hiring and sacking, and every year is a year fucking zero.
Exactly,
for
that's what
Juve.
you mentioned. No continuity, both on and off the pitch, and that's something that definitely needs to be addressed, man. The classic saying, a fish rots from its head, and that's classic over here.
Exactly.
It was nationalist propaganda that back in the day.
Yes.
You remember the billboard with the back of Joseph's head? It was like a fish.
I don't remember it. I think I repressed the elections
these,
in Malta.
bro, the election billboards are actually traumatic. But anyway, let's move on to the next point that I have over here.
Did I have something else to say? I'm so sorry. No.
Okay. He mentioned as well that there are many players who came on big wages and they can't offload because of their poor performances. For me, utilize the next gen. If you hadn't sold any of those next gen players, you'd actually have a good team on a much less detrimental wage bill. You'd have Huijsen at the back. You'd have Fagioli in the middle. You'd have, you know what I mean? There's so many players.
There are so many. I'm literally gonna pull up a list right now.
I think now they have no choice but to actually give some of those guys a chance. Instead of looking at them as the scheme to make money, man, before they've even had a chance to prove themselves at the highest level. Give them a run out, man. Why not? Sule is another one.
Huijsen, Sule, Dragusin, Fagioli, Caviglia, De Winter, Correa, Peter. No, these and then start to get
Peter.
weird. Peter. Moise Keane is,
Yeah.
to be fair, one that they could really use at the moment as
Yeah.
well, but he didn't have the best season
Uh-huh.
himself.
No, I think that's going to be necessary more than anything else. And then he also criticized Spalletti, and this is what I told you, man. He has 3 strikers on the bench. He didn't even bring one on.
Mhm.
And of course, Vlahovic is fighting for a contract, so you want to play him. He's probably got that hunger that the others don't. But if you're
To the
seeing
horn.
70 minutes and it hasn't clicked for him, you might want to change something up or put another striker next to him or something. And even the fact that he keeps playing Coupe Miners is another good point.
But that's a bit of a thing against the ownership, I'd say, by Spalletti.
you think it's
I'm not even gonna fucking use them. I'm not even gonna use
No,
them.
but that's a bad look. He's stuck with them. They're going to be there next year. You can't just do that. It's not like they were brought in under
I think
his
that's what
management.
it is, because there's no reason. Like, he was starting David when Dusan was out. Now Dusan is back and David isn't touching the
Look.
football pitch.
If you look at Milan's game against Genoa, 2 new signings scored the goals that were needed. Because they were given the chance. They
Mhm.
aren't starters
Mhm.
by definition, but they were. To be honest, the chance was given to them because of circumstance, but
Mhm. Circumcision.
because of circumcision. But I think, Spalletti maybe needs to be a little bit more adaptable in these situations.
Mhm.
Peter, what an honor, man. We'll be asking you for more of these.
Totally, man. Totally. I mean, with the prediction series, we're kind of fucked here, man.
I think we're gonna have to take
Save
it to next
save
week
it,
and
save
give a
it for
massive-
next week.
Exactly.
And if I lost this one,
but
then
we
we
should
could just
still make our predictions, right?
yes,
we have
completely.
to make and we have to refer to fantasy football as well.
Yes.
So
So let's jump to that first. So Tice, my dude, whenever you're ready, just pull up the Fantasy League screenies, please. Let's have a look. I've repressed fantasy this week because Alan is pretty much at this
have
point
your phone.
running away with it. Yes, I
Pull
do.
it up in the meantime.
I can pull it up, yes. And I can pull it out as well.
Towards the end of the season, guys, bear with us.
Yep. I've been doing this for ages. So. This one.
You're on the wrong one. No, from there. I'm gonna micromanage you the entire time. The bottom.
Get away from me, man. What the fuck are you doing? Do it, you.
Do it, you.
Do it, you.
Do it. Catanaccio.
Keep it together. It's over 2 hours, man. The people are watching The Revenant, like.
There are people who watch The Revenant. There are people who listen to us. Respect whoever listens to us.
Yes.
Catanaccio, Maxi is in first place, 2,765 points, with Zanetti's asshole Matt in second with 2,751 points. Yes, I'm of Inter, your mom third, US Salernitanga fourth, Grok Gilmore in fifth, Grim City Life in sixth. Oh, Kurt has improved.
We try to
Two-
get by, bro. Kurt.
2 girls, 1 Coop in 7th, Saponara Seaman in 8th, Cortomuso in 9th, and 10th we've got Loco Choco Saul Coco. Where's my lovely lady nowadays? Down in 17th.
She's cooking something
dipped.
nice. I'm going mental, bro.
That might be downstairs as well.
She's not a good cook.
No, she's lovely. She's great. We also have the best performers.
What's your favorite thing about her?
Her butt. Goblin Mussolini again, man.
Jesus.
Jesus
I was gonna do
Christ.
it.
90 points he scored this week. Where is he
Christ,
nowadays,
man.
Goblin? He's been
Mussolini's
topping.
been dead a while, actually.
He's been topping the charts for a while now. What's his team name? Goblin Mussolini. Crap, it's .42 FC.
What the hell?
.42 FC, where are they? I'm scrolling. He's in 30th. How weird. He's been having a really good week.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, give him Hellas, of course, 85.5. Coppola and Robbers, 84.5. The Hellas boys at least had a nice run on Fanta.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end, probably because Hellas are actually playing well as well. Brandon, 78.5. Luca Magic, 75.5. And Lamin Banda, Nick, 74.5. Nick. All right, predictions.
Predictions. Let's do this. This means essentially we're predicting how the season is going
I might have already won.
to end. Sure, bro. All right.
We don't know,
Might
but
have already won. We don't know.
It might
We
be a
don't know.
tiebreaker. We don't know. Might
We
be
don't
doing this
know.
for nothing.
Are we allowed to change our predictions from the ones before just to,
No
to
way.
increase our
Well, yes,
chances?
you can. Go for it.
No, I'm not going to.
This is a mind game at the end of the day.
So, the first game, brother, Fiorentina, Atalanta.
Draw.
Roy. I'm gonna go draw as well.
Okay.
Bologna, Inter. I'm gonna go Bologna.
I'm gonna go Inter.
Lazio, Pisa.
This could be a case where Lazio don't show up for this one.
Probably.
But I'll go Lazio victory.
Fuck. Lazio.
You're trying to fucking... Alright, Parma Sassuolo, you're up.
Draw.
Draw as well.
Please.
Napoli Udinese. I'll go... Draw.
Napoli. Verona, Roma. I said draw, so I'm gonna have to stick to draw.
Roma victory.
Lecce, Genoa.
Lecce victory.
Did I say Genoa win or draw, man?
You said Genoa win, but
I
or
said
draw one of
Genoa
them.
win. So I'll stick to Genoa win. Fuck it.
Milan Cagliari. Scary draw. That's my prediction.
Milan win. Forza lotta, vincerai, non ti lasceremo mai. Torino, Juve. I start. Draw.
Torino Juve. Torino.
Two girls on one fucking pole. Cremonese, Como.
I don't tip, I pay bills.
Como.
Bitches call me Buffalo.
Como.
Como.
Como,
Okay.
Cremonese. Como.
I go Como as well. That's it.
My friends, what an honor, huh? The next episode is going to be the last episode covering matches. We have a lot planned after that, of course. We'll be reacting to our predictions. We'll be doing Serie B playoff rundown, a Meet the Boys.
Tops and flops.
Tops
and unsung
and
heroes.
flops and unsung
This is the
heroes.
fun part.
We'll have a bunch.
Also, I'm sure you've noticed that things are looking a little bit different. Tyson, our lovely
Gave me a haircut.
patron and day oneer, gave Matthew a haircut.
No,
No.
it's not true.
He is currently our producer. He's working as our producer. He has offered to help, and everything you are seeing that is new is all Tyson's work. So drop him some feedback below. Honestly, I think he's doing a great job. So far, he's doing all of this remotely. So right now, he is manning my computer, and it's like a ghost is manning it. He's doing it
From France,
bro.
which
Which is
He's
crazy.
doing this from France,
Absolutely
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to you
Shout
guys for
out.
figuring that out. To both of you, to you as well, bro.
Cheers.
Shout out to Tyson. Welcome on board. I'm pumped for
Bro.
this, man. I'm gonna say it as it is. He is the first person we've had on board who grew up watching Serie A. Nick was a United fan. Nate, I don't think he knows what a football looks like.
Tyson mentioned that the first Napoli game he watched was in Serie B.
Oh wow, dude.
Oh, wow.
No, that is super cool. And it's great to have you on board, Thijs. We'll speak to you shortly after. Guys, thank you so much for listening. No matter who you're a fan of, I hope you'll be happy at the end of the season. If you're not, you're going to need to put up with our annoying voices while you're annoyed. But nonetheless, we'll catch you all next week, God willing.
As Barella would say.
If you like Serie A or have ever liked it in the past, it's a good opportunity for you to listen once a week and you'll get filled in.
In the football weekend, that's like the main dish. But then a few days later, you drop your episode and that's like the dessert. And the dessert is just perfect.
It's good, the cake.
It makes it feel like we're all sitting in a room together, just BSing with each other.
The atmosphere is fantastic.
I promise nobody will ask you to send boob pics.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
I love how you go into so much detail and show so much passion towards each and every team. Literally, no team is left undiscussed.
When I listen to you, it's like I'm talking to you in a pub. It's like I'm chatting to a friend and you're chatting to me.